If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell icon to get the latest updates.
Hello, everyone. Good morning.
Hi, Manu.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you doing all? Okay, guys. So just quick round of questioning. Okay. See, whoever remember it, just quick. Okay, it will be going to kind of rapid fire. Okay, kind of. So tell me about based on our 2-3 session what we have. Let's see how much you can recall it. Okay. Okay. So what are the difference you feel in SAP Fiori and SAP UI5? If somebody asks you, what you will be the answer?
UI5 is a framework on which Fiori application runs. Yeah, and in UI5, I can say that it has the we can say that it is a platform on which all the Fiori application runs. Yeah.
Fiori, matlab Fiori, you say like Fiori is a group of apps which represents and various business applications. So it's a set of application of which provided by SAP. Great, I'm good. Okay, now coming back to again another question. So if we talk about SAP Fiori, what are the 5 major feature SAP Fiori provides? The feature wise, like if you remember, we had the 5 features which we talk about. Fiori apps has it.
Yeah, one is responsiveness, wherein the applications fits in on all the devices.
Good.
Yeah.
Next.
And I would say that next is easy to use.
Okay, you can
user
say
friendly. Yeah,
good.
user friendly.
Good.
And I mean easy interface to interact with. User understandable, and next is
you can say coherent. Technical word coherent. Okay.
Yeah.
Like use seamless experience. Okay. Next. The most important part you missed, Vinita. That is one of the most important feature, which is role based, right? The first best, most important feature is role based. Okay, it's role based.
Yes.
Then
yes.
it is responsive, simple, delightful, coherent. Okay, great. So coming back to your UI5, okay, which architecture we follow in UI5 development? Yesterday we only discussed, right? We have something we discussed, right?
MVC architecture.
Can you little bit just tell me something more about this? What does it mean by MVC architecture?
This is basically model, view, and controller. Wherein modeler is we have two kinds of modeler. Where is OData model and JSON model. On controllers, we kind of do the logic part, and the view is basically the interface with which we interact. So basically, these 3 are interrelated, and yeah, two-way communication, I would say.
Yes.
And yeah, on view we have .js components wherein we design kind of UI elements, and on controller the logic part resides, and on model part basically the entire basic backend data resides. Yeah.
Model में backend data reside नहीं. Model is like to handle your data. Like I mean, data modeling. You just say data modeling. Data modeling means whatever data you receive from the server, it may be your data model. It may be your JSON local model, or there's one more model we will talk about, something called resource model. Okay. But yeah, so data modeling is model reference to your data modeling. Whatever you do with data, that is your data modeling, not a database, but just to play around with the data. Okay, great. I mean, chalo, Vinita at least has a good, Jyoti also is fine. What about other guys? You should also speak, right? Something, don't try to forget, because these are the terminology. If you are remembering it, trust me, your journey of learning will be good. So give some time. Okay, honestly, tell me how many of you has gone through this SDK or tried some hands-on, to try to understand the JavaScript language, something. I mean, when you have seen the website also, it's fine. I mean, so anybody has gone through that?
Yes, Mani,
Just a quick review.
yes, yes.
Good, because see, I told you, right? From the very first day I started showing you all this. These are your Bible. You say SAP UI5 SDK, your Bible. So of course, not each and every content you can go and directly jump into and get the knowledge. But slowly you should do it. Okay, it's also not possible, to go take all the contents and everything at a time in the training session. No, we will be mostly focused on the what is the most important and required understanding to build SAP Fiori UI5 and Fiori apps. Okay, so that's the idea. So your effort, your personal effort should also very much required here. It's not only about this learning series. I'm talking about any learning. If you do, like if you do, even if you, let's say you have learned ABAP, right, S4, somebody who knows ABAP classical, right, but S4 ABAP a little bit different, right, serious data modeling and all these things. So somebody if I learned, they have to put something effort additionally, and it's a good opportunity for you, right, to be a full stack developer in in SAP domain. Being a full stack developer will add you a lot of advantage, trust me. Okay, all right. So so see, guys, so tomorrow we are started in our development session, and today it will be purely development session. I will hardly talk about few things about practical, sorry, theoretical. So why, I'm going to focus. Yesterday we directly jump into BAS, right? I was just showing you how you can either use a template and how you can use our destination services. Services was a little bit down yesterday, so we couldn't use template. But so I started with a scratch. That a scratch also I just started with some basic structure. I will little bit some more. We'll talk about since we started with the scratch part, and then we'll jump back to the template. But before that, I should start that part. I'm going to talk about a little bit about BAS. See, guys, you might have worked with your other Fiori developer or UI5 in your organization. They used mostly till last year or maybe last 1-2 year. They used to use SAP Web IDE full stack. In fact, nowadays also many of the organizations still have the SAP Cloud Platform Neo version, which is having provided the Web IDE. Okay, so the development of Fiori apps in Web IDE, and there's another other open tool called VS Code. Okay, all these things places people can go and code. So what you see in the BAS design is actually looks like a VS Code only. Okay, it's a like kind of a design pattern or extension of the VS Code, which is based on Eclipse Thea version. Okay, so there is a little difference, okay, how you develop in Web IDE and how you develop in BAS, having a difference in terms of folder structure. Okay, I mean, the main component will remain the same, but there are some different files are available in Neo and BAS. So BAS is being more powerful, and it's because it supports various other types of development. Okay, so that's the reason the way of development in BAS is not as simple as it is in Web IDE full stack. Why I'm saying why not simple, because it has certain dependency in your project file. If it's not there, BAS will not even run it. This also happens in Web IDE, but Web IDE doesn't have so much constraint to not allow to run it, at least locally. But BAS, during the stage of running time only, it start debugger. It will attach your double debugger in the background. If something is not missing, something, any syntax error, any file error, it will not even run your application. It will throw you the error. That's actually a good thing, okay, because already before you're running the application runtime only, it will throw the error. It's a good feature. So I will little bit just take few minutes of time and I will just show you what is all about. So I just created one PPT. So I will just talk you through here. You may not see the same pattern what we had, but I just created last night. So we'll show you something. You have some idea, because as per our training, it has been asked to provide on BTP BAS. So it is going to be different. It's a very new tool and different tool, and it's not widely used by every developer, because I told you Web IDE is being from long time, and it's more developer are more friendly with that than the BAS having the same feature, but it is more uh, powerful, but having a little bit difference, in terms of development process. Okay, now so just a little bit introduction. What is all about the BAS? Okay, so basically it's again a development environment tool. Okay, basically it's provide you one environment which is having a lot of different tools are available. So remember, while creating a dev space, you saw there was an option, right? You can select, right, what are the extension you want to use. You want to include your dev space, right? So it's basically giving you the feature, right? I mean, you remember, I mean, it's running right now. We have shown you, right, before while creating a dev space. In fact, here only we can see, right? So these are the pre-built extension available, which is anyway making your development powerful. But at the same time, if you want to make it more advanced and powerful, it supports a lot many other extension and powerful feature which Web IDE doesn't provide. Web IDE comes default, whatever it has. Okay, so that's the one of the major experience, like it enhances and more control over your dev environment. Now see, it provides desktop experience. Yes, you can see if you go inside, the whole screen, right, comes as a new development tool, right? So that's why it's like very widely not constrained to your particular width and screen, everything like that. Okay, so yeah, dev spaces we talk about already. So yeah, this is something which you can see here. Like we set up the different environment. We of course we are going to develop, we are going to test, build, and then run. Okay, so everything right now with this space, what you see right now, we will be of course doing it locally right now. And once it's come deployment phase, configuration phase, we will talk about that time. So I mean, we can do everything in this place, and how your file structure is going to change and all we will talk about. Okay, now you remember you all have the BAS access, right? So you can have the BAS access. What are the prerequisites you need to have? First thing, if you need to do development, remember yesterday we are trying with template, right? So whether you are using freestyle, whether you use a free Fiori elements, it needs your backend connectivity, right? So whether you're going to make a OData call, whether you're going to use your local JSON model, or whether you're going to use a CDS based modeling, it needs some connectivity, right? Why it need destination connectivity? Because if you're deploying, during deployment time also, you need to select which backend service you are referring to, so that your application, when it runs, it has their data connectivity available. If it doesn't have anything data connectivity available, it will not be considered as a full-fledged Fiori apps, or I can say like a business app, right? That's the reason it will not even allow you if you don't have any database connection, else it will be just a local application. Okay, and these roles are required. Okay, so let's say these roles you can just keep it. Remember, let's say in the organization, after this demo session, you will go and you will ask your BTP admin key, I need a BAS, right? Kindly provide me this roles, right? This role you must have. So whatever, if you are able to see this BAS, right, in your cockpit, because your roles has been provided. Okay, how you can check your roles? Maybe see in the organization, it depends, right? Generally we as an admin or sub account viewer have those access, but I will just for your knowledge, I will tell you, you go to users. Okay, search for your user, whichever user you are in, and then you can easily find out like whatever kind of a role has been given to you. Let's say if I have a VFM check here, I can see here these roles are given as a BTP application studio administrator, developer, and extension deployer. So these three are rules. Maybe administrator you will not get. I mean, here you have definitely got, but maybe in your organization, because admin roles is a restricted role, so it may not get. But these two roles you have to have. Okay, one is developer role, one is extension deployer, right? These roles will developer role will help you to do normal development. Extension deployer will help you when you have any standard Fiori apps, you are taking it from the S4 system and you are creating an adoption project, and then you are making extension on top of it. Then you need to have this extension deployer role. If you don't have this role, your extension application will not be allowed to create and deploy. Okay, that's the reason we have. And dev space is the same thing which we are right now. We are using it, the same dev space we have here. Now see how this flow works here. Okay, so SAP BTP, this is the one of the connectivity we also, I mean, yesterday we talked about, yeah, okay, this is the place we maintain the connectivity. We will talk about, now we have one, I mean, one of the session, I will definitely walk you through how you can, what is the connectivity, cloud connectors here, right? So we maintain one cloud connector. Cloud connector is one of the, I would say, just giving you introduction. It's like a proxy connectivity between your S4 system and our cloud system. It creates a bridge, I would say, right, to communicate with each other, right? So once this established, then you refer this whatever the host URL is given, and we maintain this destination name. Okay, so we destination name we maintain, and we refer whatever URL has been generated here, so that, and of course proxy tab you can mention on premise, because we are going to use on premise to cloud. And then we have basic authentication. You can also use no authentication. No authentication means you don't have to pass any kind of credential while running the app, but it may ask you system specific your credential. Like say you are running in the dev, it may ask you dev credential. If you are running in the quality, it will ask you quality system credential. That's the reason you best a good idea, you during destination itself you keep a technical user credential here, so that in any system if you are running, user don't have to put the credential, rather a technical user will be taken care in the background. Okay, and these are the some additional property we will talk about in details little bit, not now. Okay, so this is how we maintain, this is the meaning of connectivity. So connectivity, see, this is the cloud connector. See, this is how it's just represents, you connect to n number of system. It's not like one to one. A cloud connector can be connected at the same time with multiple SAP. It could be ECC system, it could be S4 HANA on premise, it could be S4 HANA on cloud, anything you can connect here. And then this will make it available, all these services built on this server SAP system, and make it available for your BTP environment as a destination service that you can develop in your application. Okay, so this is the flow. So as for HANA, you connect a cloud connector. Cloud connector, you create destination here, secure data connection. You maintain some data connectivity destination over here. It can be your own destination services, or remember I talked about also yesterday, I showed you one of the SAP API hub, right? So API hub may, you don't need any connectivity right now, but yeah, you have to configure in destination. Our API stands for, like, you may have developed some particular separate API in S4 itself, and you want to expose as just as a API, single API, that also you can configure in destination. Once this connectivity established, destination maintain, then this is basically a backend service you will be able to consume in your BTP BAS development. Okay. Now, coming back to this, you see this Fiori apps development, right? So after how the BAS you are going to take it back, you have various option. You either can import the project. Import the project means, like, let's say you have existing project from Neo, Web IDE, or you have any project in your but it should be Fiori UI5. Those projects you can import directly, or you can directly start from the SAP Fiori application template. Template say you have either freestyle Fiori apps or you have Fiori elements types application. And there we have another option called adoption project for a standard Fiori apps, right? So I have mentioned here, if you have CDS, data modeling with annotation, then go for Fiori elements. If you don't have CDS, then go for freestyle. Okay, in both the case you can do that, right? But like if you have, even if you have CDS, you want to go by freestyle, yes, you can go. But if you freestyle is useful, it gives you more control over your development, right? If you have very complex scenario to develop, if you have very complex business logic to handle, you want to do a lot of customization, then freestyle is the one approach you should choose it. Okay, so freestyle Fiori elements is a template based application. Here also you can customize. Okay, that's not a problem. But as per control basis, like, because Fiori elements will have a different set of methods. Okay, and standard method only available, that only you can use it. But freestyle may, you are free to use any methods, any control wherever you want to do. So here you have to follow strictly all the guidelines and the exact method what has been provided. Here you are free to choose any controls methods as per the control or selection you have done. Deployment is BTP. CF stands for here Cloud Foundry. I have mentioned here. CDS is Core Data Service. CF is your Cloud Foundry. OP means on-premise. Okay, for deployment. So yes, so BAS is not only meant for develop and only deploy on Cloud Foundry on BTP. Rather, you can also develop on BAS and deploy back to your on-premise S4 system also. That both is possible. Okay, so it's a development tool, right? So either I can develop here and I can deploy on the cloud, or I can develop and I can deploy on the on-premise system, my S4 system. So both is possible. Okay, so this is just a flow of how your BAS basically going to be. We will talk about more in details when we go topic wise for Fiori elements and freestyle. So right now, of course, we are starting with freestyle. Why I'm doing this, because I want to make sure that you have all this basic knowledge. Okay, because if I directly jump to your Fiori elements, for me my job will be easy, right? I will take a one CDS service, I will template wise, it will go. But when you see Fiori elements, I will show you one of the folder structure. Fiori elements doesn't have, you will not see like the folder structure which we will show you in the next stage. We will not see those folders. So like generally we have web app folder, controller, view, model, right, IIT, and you will not be able to see all the folders. Why? Because this template is strictly managed by SAP itself. Okay, and on top of it you can modify. So that will not give you exact understanding of SAP UI5 framework. That's the reason I'm starting with freestyle, so that you have basic understanding first, and then you can jump into Fiori elements also. The Fiori elements we will take in the last. Okay, we will talk about everything, every controls developments in freestyle session. If you are very much comfortable and understanding of freestyle, then Fiori elements is nothing. Okay, it's just like you need to just know a standard method. That's it. Okay, so again, in this, yeah, I have segregated, you can develop different type of Fiori apps. So Fiori elements provide different floor plans. Okay, floor plan means like layout, I would say, like how your Fiori apps is going to look alike, right? Like for example, list report we have, right? Work list, an article list page, overview page. So these are the different floor plans. Means your application, let's say list report, so it will be a filter bar with table structure. We have work list, again filter bar with table, right? An article will be a table with an article view of your graphical representation of your data, right? Overview page will come with respect to there will be only one single page. On the single page there will be this small, you see left hand side, whatever tab we have, right? Like small cards will be present on the entire screen. So every cards represent a one app reference. Okay, so it means like in a single page you are going to overview every business object, right? So of course we will talk about all these things. I mean, I will provide you some screenshot later, just for a heads up. I provided this information. And then freestyle, we have these type of floor plans, like you can create as a UI5 freestyle application. Like it doesn't have any template information available, just a folder structure. Work list it will come up with your, it's the same, both as looks like same, right? But this designed as per your Fiori elements, but this designed, I mean, it's as per your freestyle. Means you have more control over here. It will just give you some kind of layout structure, but it will be more controlled version of your work list, and that you can customize and the way you want. Then you have list detail application. Remember, I have shown you one example of products and something, right? In the last time in the demo, right? Something like browse orders or somewhere, right? So if you click in the left side, if you're coming here, right? So it's kind of list details, right? Something, or there is one application which you click on this, it will open your next screen. So that is another kind of list detail application. Also, we can say initially it used to say a split app or something called master detail app. Now it is known as like more of list detail application, and the control also has been changed. It used to be known as a split app earlier, but now it's having a different name. Okay, so now, okay, this is one of the comparison which you can see here. What is the difference between BAS and very full stack? It's available on BTP Cloud Foundry environment, Web IDE on new environment. Yes, we are referring BTP because BTP is just a new name of SAP Cloud Platform. Okay, earlier version of SAP Cloud Platform was Yeah, SAP Cloud Platform. Before that, it used to known as HANA Cloud Platform. Okay, then it convert back to SAP Cloud Platform. Now it is SAP BTP, like Business Technology Platform. It has two environment: Cloud Foundry runtime environment, new environment, which is old actually. Old means I will say the major, customers still use this. That's why they are keeping it. So yeah, deployment wise, you can of course support it. Also, it doesn't mean that it doesn't support S4 HANA on. It means like it also supports S4 HANA Cloud other than what it support for S4 HANA, but it doesn't support your Web IDE full stack for HANA Cloud deployment. Okay, so for that you have to go via Cloud Foundry. That's the reason it doesn't support. Dev space means yes, I showed you pre-packaged whatever extension tools you want to add, you can do it here. But in a workspace, whatever it contains many tools at one time, not all necessarily required. Basically, you cannot modify your workspace, right? It comes with inbuilt. Experience wise, if somebody has worked on VS Code, I told you right the way how it looks like. I will show you the image of VS Code. It is very much familiar. Okay, so this is the VS Code, and this is how the VS Code, if you see, looks like, right? The our Fiori, if you remember, I mean, it's the same thing. If you go to the theme also, no, it will show you the option color theme. It will show you the option like you select something called here mentioned here. See, dark Visual Studio and something. So I mean, it's familiar with the web development tool. That's the reason they have keep it as a like experience wise you are actually coding in not in some SAP specific development tool, rather it's like open source now it supports for cloud, of course I told you, and it supports many other languages, right? Code editor, like for Java also you can develop Node.js, JavaScript, HTML5, Python also you can do. Okay, all these it supports, but Web IDE it doesn't support all of them. It's majorly support your Fiori UI5 development, and it's partially support some kind of other language supports in the development like Node.js, etc. Okay, so yeah, it's a kind of limited feature. Now, since it's an open source, so of course I told you that like kind of VS Code, right? It's more of like open source kind of design, so it provides you more when it become open, right? It means you have the power to integrate many other open source environment or open source tools as well, right? But if it's Web IDE is restricted to SAP domain, then you cannot see it's mentioned here, but majority in SAP right proprietary. So Web IDE somebody cannot use for their other development than what majorly used in SAP domain, right? So these are the something I thought just to talk a little bit on how different it is. Maybe if somebody has worked on Web IDE can relate on this part. One interesting part here with respect to your file folder structure. Okay, so generally whenever we create any project, this is your Neo folder, right? This is SAP UI5, SAP UI5. If I'm saying it here, the region is the same thing as Fiori only, but nowadays Fiori means to be like Fiori elements will have a different structure. So I have not put for Fiori elements right now the structure. I will when we start Fiori elements part, I will show you that folder structure that time. But make sure that of course you will not be able to find out these folders. Okay, these folders you will not be finding until you are not extending it. Okay, during the extension only you will be able to find different folder, otherwise it will very plain and simple. Okay, so generally when you develop any Web IDE,
sorry, just can you just go through this concept of difference between BAS and Web IDE full stack? Yeah.
Oh, you want some more again?
Yeah. I mean, this concept of differences, maybe again for everyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So see, major difference will be like BTP present on your Cloud Foundry environment. Okay, if you see here what environment we are using in Cloud Foundry. Okay, so but Web IDE doesn't available on Cloud Foundry. It's a part of Neo environment. So like the way we see Cloud Foundry, they will have a Neo. So cockpit badge, it looks like the same. Only thing you will see the difference in the left hand side, and if you click on the content, of course your right hand information will change. Deployment target stands for here, it supports S4 HANA Cloud also deployment, right? And as well as of course it will support your S4 HANA on premise and Cloud Foundry. The reason being it just supports, that's why we have mentioned it doesn't support. That's the only one differentiation we have mentioned here. Dev space stands for the area where you are developing, right? You can spin your packages, means you can put different type of extension. You can include different tools there, right? You have something called UI5 tooling. It's different types of extension available to make your ease of your development, right? So BAS has those more capability to add in your dev space, and you can have n number of dev space you can create. Trial you have restriction for 2, and if you have a corporate version you may have you have multiple dev space. You can design one dev space for your normal Fiori app development, one you can create for let's say your full stack development, you can create one for HANA development, right? You can create for one serious modeling and something cap development. So you can create a number of things. Similar way, Web IDE also have they have concept of workspace. Like you don't have like you, if you launch Web IDE, doesn't ask you create a what dev space you want to create. It just open the Web IDE, and on the right hand corner you might be seeing like you can select, you can have your n number of workspace means, let's say workspace A may you have developed some HR module application workspace, second may you have developed finance application. So just a workspace wise, there's nothing much great to add on. That's the reason we have the powerful in dev space than workspace. Experience wise, like see by the development, see right now you may feel little bit if you have worked earlier in Web IDE, or somebody who has worked on Web IDE, little bit feel is more a bit extensive in BAS. But the moment you will get more familiar to BAS, you will realize how powerful and how simple it is. It's the only thing is that we are not understanding how BAS works and how BAS we have to use it in our development, because Web IDE being a little bit simple and it's very much used for a long time by the developer, they may feel a little bit discomfort. But once you understand the reason why we are using it, it's very powerful and use it. So you see one more feature is mentioned here. It's CLI. It also supports CLI, like command line, right? You mentioned command line CD and all these things, right? So if you heard about this terminology, command line, we use very extensively in BAS, but we don't have anything such thing in Web IDE. Okay, so like that, I told you, right? Whenever the BAS runs application, it will automatically attach a debugger in your background. If you see your BAS structure, now you see this is a debugger here. Okay, see run and debug. Basically, the moment you are running your application, same time debugger starts. Okay, so this is very good feature, right? Because it will throw you if any error in the file, if any file not doesn't exist, if any syntax error, or if anything is wrong with your project folder while running it, it will throw you some error in the bottom, and it's very good feature. But Web IDE may, until it runs, once your page gets loaded, that time you will be actually going to get what problem happens. Okay, so that's the another good experience we had. Okay, support for various persona means, like of course various languages, like you can develop as a full stack developer for cap programming, Java language, Node, JavaScript, HTML5, Python also data modeling it supports. So basically what it does mean, it supports now various personas, various languages, right? But Web IDE has limitations, right? It partially support for some of them, like Node.js, it supports for development, right? So maybe some sort of Java, but not full-fledged, supports for all persona, right? Now it's based on open source. Open source means like BAS is designed to be utilized not only in SAP domain, but for the other non-SAP domain development, right? For example, Java is not meant for SAP domain, right? You can still develop Java language, right? Node.js, if you want to build service, you can still develop for Node.js. You want to use Python, go and use the Python for that. Cap programming you want to use, it's a cloud programming application, use it. So this is like open source, and it is open to integrate with any different other kind of integration with different tool also is possible. So if you go to your BAS, you will have some option, you can extend, or you can add something information in your extension. You see here you have given, right? So any extension you want to add here, you can add it, you can download it, you can put it in your workspace. So it's going to make your more powerful. That's the, but Web IDE may generally is very restricted to SAP domain development. That's it's kind of restricted to open source. Okay. All right, so if you see now, the folder structure is a little bit different when you come to the new app. Of course, you will not see the difference in the web app folder, but you will see other than web app folder. Okay, so what you see in the very first thing difference, you see there is nothing called node folders here, right? So but BAS having node folders, because this Fiori BAS is actually runs on your Cloud Foundry environment bay. Then it needs some node module, means npm, Node.js packages. So a node modules is the something which is list of various node library which required when application you are running from the BAS, and if you're deploying on the any of the Cloud Foundry space, without this npm library, it will not be allowed to do that, even not even run like locally. Okay, so that's the reason you need to have this node modules. If you are using this template, it will automatically give you this node modules generated. If you are not, then you have to just, for example, we started some scratch, then I have to manually add node npm file here. Okay, that we can use from the CLI command line interface. Next, what difference you will see here in the file. Okay, one more file you see, MTA archive. So this will generally create during deployment. Okay, so during deployment you will see this folder created, and this folder will have one file which contains every file. Okay, one file will generate here, and that file you have to deploy in your Cloud Foundry, which represents your all the project code. So that will come only after deployment. Okay, but here also when you deploy, there's your additional folder comes up here, that different files gets generated here, like see FLP deployment XML. So if you are deploying in Fiori Launchpad, it will create your FLP deployment XML file. New app stand for like, see, Web IDE belongs to your new environment. That's why new app.json file. In this, generally you get the information about your destination services. What are the destination services has been pointed out, and of course the Fiori Launchpad support here. Okay, again, package.json may you will be seeing here is a common for both. I mean, it also has a package.json file, and it also have package.json. So package.json file is kind of metadata file. Okay, it describes all your project dependencies, kind of configuration details, right? Then in another file you will find UI5.yaml, could be a common one, which again UI5 YAML is also deal with kind of configuration of UI5 tooling based on your projects and whatever you have done, any modification of any standard extension part. So these are the files are very much required when you are doing any kind of deployment activity. Even you are running in the locally, as at least in BAS it will restrict if you don't have this file. Okay, and then you will see another file, we have empty.yaml file. Again, empty.yaml file is a very much important file in terms of BAS Cloud Foundry deployment. It gets generated only during when you're going for deployment. So you have to generate an empty YAML file, you have to build first, and then once the empty file gets generated, then this file will be coming up into the picture, and this file will be responsible to deploy in a Cloud Foundry. So we will talk about in details. I was just showing you the difference of the folder, especially these two areas will have some differences that you will be seeing in your development. Okay. All right, so just a heads up on your BTP BAS things. If somebody has worked on Web IDE, you will definitely see the difference, what is coming up. If you are starting from the very first time for you, so could be good for you as well, because you anyway you don't have any idea on Web IDE, so you will be very much clear enough as well. Okay, so hope everyone is all right at this point. Any questions? I will talk about if you have any, else we will jump into our development today. Any question? All right. Okay, then let's go to our development journey. Okay, fine. So everyone, I hope you have seen this kind of, I mean, we have tried yesterday some things to do by template. We will go back to template once again, but okay, since we have started this, so let's try something. Okay, anyway, okay, chalo, fine. So I told you something. Let's say you have a controller, you will have a view, and of course you have a different structure. Remember, we have different folders, right? A structure like you have another one like I18N. You have another one called model. You have different files, right, available. So let's say and this index.js is not required for us. Also, we can remove it. I mean, it's not necessary until we have, if you have a controller file, you don't need that. Okay, so it's just a plain vanilla things which they have started. Somebody just start with this journey with the HTML coding. For that purpose they are given here, that HTML part. So that will be not our part to be look into. Okay, I will just show you, if you are starting from scratch, what are the problem you will face. Okay, let's say this is under the web app. I have a index to HTML file, right? And what we have here, we have mentioned here like our kind of resource root and all this information, right? But what we also notice here, we don't have any other things, right? Let's say even if I remove this controller, for example, because I think we don't have, right, we have a different controller difference. I think we have copied. Okay, yeah, this is also we have copied, so try to make you understand. So let's say I will, for now I will just try to delete. Don't worry, I will add you back. I will just show you if I'm just directly going to I just want to show you what are the error you will face. Okay, so this under the web app I have only one index.html file, right? Now if you remember, I have done one thing last time, like it's basically going to give me some information. If you see my coding here, I mean sorry, here in the whole hello world, it is just showing, just put this information. So I will go and copy this part. And right now, since we are not using our I'm starting from the beginning, don't worry. So since I'm not using any our controller view logic, so this bootstrapping and all not required. I'm just putting a plain vanilla index HTML5 information. I'm just saying hello world information. Okay, what I'm trying to say, they are showing you, right? They are showing you, now you see, you this is the output you will get. But do we get directly like that if we are going to build, right? Does it allow to run this application? Does it? Anyone? If I'm trying to run, just now we discussed in the BAS, if I'm trying to run index system, yes, it will may run. If you run through a, maybe I would say some kind of editor, like you have some editor available, right? In online editor, this file will run, will give you hello world, because it detects your HTML file. But when I'm running from web and like BAS or Web IDE, does it allow me to run this? It will actually not allow. Okay, the reason is being, this is not as per the the folder what and the file is required for the BAS to run it. The structure you are using as a web app, right? So it will automatically take. So for what I will do, I will just select and I will say run without debugging. Even if I say run without debugging, it will say here we don't have an extension to debug print text. I'll be fine. Okay, leave it here, and I will just hit that run part. Okay, I will say maybe run and debug. Okay, chalo theek hai, le lo, fine. So now if you see, whenever I'm trying to run, it is okay. So remember I was talking about different tool here, right? Remember, so these are the different extension basically are additionally available for you to make it available. So see, I was trying to run directly, right? So it was showing me ki there are some extension is not available to run your plain file. Do you want to add into it, right? So they are giving me the option JavaScript. Anyway, we are using it. So based on your need, you can use, if like PHP we have different things. So I'm not interested to use any of them. I'm just trying to show you that it is not allowing you to run this. Okay, what if you see this this part here, what in the folder structure, what was needed, in this bottom, you see it needed something called package.json and UI5 YAML MTA. I told you it will be a part of your during deployment part, so even if it's not there, not a problem. But these thing, package YAML, should be there. So what should I do now? I will go and create probably a package.yaml. So package.yaml, if you see here where it is present not inside web app, it is a part of your project folder. So what I will do, I will go here and I will create a new file. I will give a name package.json. Okay, so again, remember what package.json does? Package.json is a kind of your metadata file that describes your project dependencies. That's it. Okay, now see, package.json may, what are the things you need to mention, right? I can mention it,
So,
like I can,
Manu,
yeah, tell me.
this package.json is mandatory. Then in that case, if it represents the metadata of the
Yeah. You have
application,
to,
right?
yes, you have to
This
mention
is
your
mandatory.
name. You have to mention what is the name of your project. Let's say I say demo, right? Something it's like a descriptor. It's a metadata description of your project. So this is the idea. This is the idea of being your development of your something, right? Otherwise, somebody will generate any file and it will just run and deploy. This should not be there, right? This should go with respect to whatever the pattern has been defined by SAP, whatever it's as not by SAP, by the framework, right? So whenever we say uh, whatever file needed, it's because it's a need of your framework. It's not the need of like somebody directly start something and they can do it. Okay, so you have
So
to wait
whatever
always.
metadata, yeah, whatever metadata we define from here reflects if we are using any OData service at the back end. So whatever metadata we are defining here
No,
will
no, not
reflect there.
knows dot metadata. Knows dot. It's about UI5. I'm talking about here. We talk about here. Metadata doesn't mean that OData metadata. We are talking about those metadata means the with respect to your this one Fiori UI5 project ka metadata. What is metadata, right? It's an information of your business object what you have developed, right? The same way package.json represent the information of your project what you are developing it. Got it?
Okay.
So that's the
Okay.
difference. So you can also add some description if you want to add like demo of Fiori app. Okay, so I should have taken template, but since I started, so just I am showing you what are the things you will and why you should choose template. You all will tell me the answer. If, sir, let's use template because see, everything what I'm doing here, I am writing it, right? So we have a scripting में क्या है हाँ start is another command. Okay, a script में ये command है CLI command, so that's why we use those command here. Okay, so let's say I'm saying here maybe UI5 something called serve, and then you might have something called build, build. Okay, then something again you pass something like UI5 build. Okay, something like that. Okay, okay, 1 minute. Scripting me, then you have something you can also do run. Okay, and run command should support UI5 run something like that. Okay, that's it. I think it's fine. Then you can also one more thing you have to mention here, something called dev dependencies. Okay, dev dependencies means what are the dependencies are required. Okay, one more thing, if you see the beautiness, right, of BAS, the moment I'm writing something, it's automatically suggesting me, right? It's very good, right? I don't have to basically search for. If you see here, everything is coming up what I need to write, right? So here with me, you have to mention what are the command line I'm going to use for use like CLI support here. So that's why I'm using it, and I'm using this version, and that's it. So this is our package.json file. If you remember another one, we have UI5.yaml. So without this, again, if I'm trying to again run, it will not it will not allow me to run. Okay, so how we will run here? We run new terminal, and you have the option like you can do cd. Okay, I am under the project, so cd is the path, and I will go here. What is my name here? Fiori SAP UI5 demo. Okay, so it goes to spelling mistake hai kya? Okay, I think spelling mistake. Fiori, how's it? Okay, UI5 demo. Now we are what? Okay, it should be CD, right? Yeah, with CD you can put again up and down arrow will give you what last you have used. Okay, so you can use that, and here I will use CD. Yeah, so now see I'm inside this Fiori SAP UI5 demo project. But tell me here, I mean, you see, I have to write and I have to see the spelling or everything. So there's one shortcut. Go to the project folder, right click, and just mention open in integrate terminal. So it will directly open that project to your terminal. So that's the best approach. Now, see, I will tell here npm. Okay, I will say here npm run, because see, I can. Okay, so what I'm showing here, I'm doing from the command, but I can try here to run from the run command also. That's fine. Okay, so here if I'm selecting this, I will try to run. Okay, I'm trying to say ki, hey, run with configuration, but see, again it is keep saying, because see, there's no JSON file available. There is no basically it's not looking for the file which helps to which helps it to basically run this. So it's not happening. You see, it's restricting us till now. One more thing you see here, it is asking me, you see there is some problem. It's a RAID, right? So see, what is the view problem? If you click here, it will say you, see here, UI5 Fiori package is not installed. Remember, I told you in the very first, see here, okay, this node modules in BAS is very much required. Okay, so it's not actually available, right? So what you can do here, again, you click and then you go to quick fix. Click on quick fix, and then I'll keep here fix all dependency issues. So what will happen here in the terminal you see, and in the here also you see node modules got added, and it had added all the required dependency here. See, this folder has been created now automatically. All right. Again, still, if I am going to now see that error gone. Now again, I am still going to try to run. Let it allow me. No. Okay, I will show you how you can try to run it from the terminal. Okay, let's say I will try to run from the terminal. So something called npm run start. Okay, so you see fell to error because the path and whatever you are maintaining is not applied. So one thing you mentioned here, if you see here, UI5 YAML is not present. So does it allow me to do that to run if I add this file? Let's add this file, right? UI5.YAML. This is another file which we talk about. So this is the file which again describes your UI5 tooling, okay, configuration. Like tooling stands for like what are the things you are using it. Okay, all these basic information of metadata of name or something, whatever. So it's again start with some kind of versioning, right? So you can say a spec. If you see, it will automatically a spec version something. Let's say I would say here like maybe I'm using third version 3.0. It's a standard one, don't worry. And then you have to mention your metadata. If you write here metadata, okay, and then you mention what are the name you have mentioned. Remember, I have mentioned the name as a demo in the previous package or JSON file, and make sure it's aligned. So it will take in terms of like, okay, you are following it basically the pattern of that. And then we have a type. So if you do the type, you will say yes, it is an application type. Okay, then you will talk about what is framework, right? So use the framework name. So framework. Okay, if I'm doing the framework, what is the name of my framework? My framework name, what is the framework name? Anyone quick? What is the framework name? Framework.
UI5.
SAP UI5. Hey, that's the framework name. Okay, now version. Version means which version we are talking about, means which version of, remember yesterday I showed you this is the version which we are using it. So let's use the same version 1.1.8, 1.0 something, 1.18.10. Okay, so this is the version of your basically I would say UI5 versioning. Okay, and then what libraries we are using it here? I remember yesterday also I've told you that there are libraries declaration you need to do. Okay, quick question. This library is generally gets initiated by which action? What a technical name we use that? Which initialize those libraries dependencies?
Bootstrapping.
Very good. So now tell me, bootstrapping. One has asked me yesterday question about Launchpad and locally if we are not having index.html file. I have explained both the scenario. Anybody remember if I'm running a index.html file like see we have right now here, right? Though we are not mentioning right now, of course, bootstrapping. I'm just trying to plain vanilla structure because if the moment I will write here bootstrapping, I have to maintain the project folder the way it should be controller, web app, all these other stuff. So I'm just, since we started yesterday, I'm just trying to show you you know what are the things will come into the picture when you try to do it from the scratch, you know, the problem. Okay, so tell me, anybody remember what will happen if I'm running a application in from, let's say this index.html file have all the bootstrapping information. I'm running in the local, and if I am not, or if I'm running those application on Launchpad, and you know that Launchpad doesn't have index.html file, it will run via the component.js file. But how in both the scenario bootstrapping actually working? I have explained yesterday. If anybody remember, just tell me, repeat that part. Remember? No, remember?
On it.
Tell.
Yeah, so
I don't know.
when the component.js file is getting executed,
Where?
at that time
Okay.
it also has the different, yeah, on the launchpad, from the launchpad.
Okay. So on the, okay, locally what will happen? Locally?
When you do it locally, it will execute the index.html
Bootstrapping
file
first.
first.
Good.
And over there, we have provided the configuration for bootstrapping, and over there it will take the reference from there,
Good.
from the
And
index.html.
index.file mein you don't give that directly. You just mention the component container information. So what happened on Launchpad? Remember I explained in how it's working on Launchpad, because Launchpad itself application itself is acts as a container. So whenever you deploy your Fiori apps over there, any application, Launchpad is smart enough to provide bootstrapping for all the apps the moment you have deployed and it's ready to run. So bootstrapping everything configuration is not required when you are doing it, because index we don't need to do that, right? So it runs via your component.js file. So it's just taken care by your Launchpad things, which already acts as an app, which is already running in your web, right? So Launchpad itself is an application which hosts your Fiori apps, and it take care of all these other bootstrapping, personalization, all other thing in the background. Okay, and then it will just run smoothly. All right, okay, so see, now I have added this UI5 YAML file also. Okay, now does it again allow me? Let me try. So what I will do, I will first try to build it. Okay, build. See, success. UI5 YAML confusion for project type demo configuration must have property type. Okay, so type is, we already have mentioned application. Okay, I think this is called identification something. Okay, that basically work with, it will check and okay everything like you know, like it should be aligned. Basically what I mean to that, if you put something here with the name, it's considered it's a part of your metadata name. But if you put here, it will be taken as a new property. It's a sub property. This is a new property. So that's the reason it was throwing. Okay, now you see it has library. The theme lab represent here variant libraries. It doesn't have like theme lib, SAP and Horizon, right? Okay, so libraries may I have to put name here. Okay, so guys, I'm just showing you, if you somebody start with just a scratch in the SAP world, this is what especially you will face such issue. I will not take much more time on this. I'm just showing you. We'll start with something. Okay, now again see, we don't find manifest JSON file. Remember, if you see in this structure, you will find manifest JSON file. What is manifest JSON file? I told you, if component.js is a soul to run your application, the manifest JSON is your Bible, or you know, kind of metadata of your complete application. Means like biodata. Metadata, manifest JSON has every information of your application. So if this is not available, so you cannot do that. Now, the moment you are mentioning this file, right, manifest.json file, then you have to provide all these structure available, whatever I have to mention here, right? Like you need to have those structure available because everything will be referred here, view, controller, right? What are the model you are referring it? Okay, all right. So I will stop this scratching part over here. I will not suggest. Of course, I'm not saying you cannot do that, but let's not make waste time on this. That's the idea, right? That's the idea of template. That's the idea of template they have provided. Key, you know what file does what, but do not struggle to make it set up. Okay, so this is the idea of behind. I was just trying to show you because there are a lot of things will come and you have to keep fixing, and it will be your waste of time. Okay, so what I will do now, I will just start with our template journey, and I will show you how things are which we have created manually, which automatically gets created. It will be available to you so that you can just focus on your what you need to develop, not what project folder structure you have to set up, right? Because it's helps your developer to make that coding focus, not that configuration focus. Configuring in the sense like you're making your folder struggling with running and all these things and stuff. That's the reason we should and not do that. So, or everyone start with with me. Go to your file in your project folder. Everyone open your space. Just let me know once you are done with that space. Go to your developer space. Till here, everyone clear, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. So everyone go to your workspace and just try open this. Let's start with your now the journey of that. Everyone, I'm just waiting for your confirmation. Everyone are there
Yeah,
on
I
the
have
page?
opened it.
Yeah, we are in the dev space.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
We
okay,
have
great.
opened already.
Okay, sorry, okay, fine. Go to the file. So if somebody is already working on the space, you can also directly go from this. Okay, and okay, make sure you are not inside this folder. You come out of it, or you can better you click on project and then this file, because what happen if you start projecting, it will go inside this project. So better you be on the root folder, select here and go to this new project from template, and then it will start your template. Okay, from here. So now you can see, you select SAP Fiori application, go to and start. Okay, so everyone, can you go to as a basic, and this is a start over next here. Okay, now got this. Can you see the destination name now?
Yes.
Very good. Now if you go to that part here, okay, select that, connect to a system. Then next you can select this is our destination name. Don't you choose ABAP cloud, because we are not doing any development of ABAP cloud. Okay, so now let's try to user some kind of, I'm just random service I'm using here and use them just to make a reference of data service. Okay, now let's, once you select, go next and give the name of your view. You can call it as app. Okay, my first view as an app. Don't give 1, 2, something like that. And module, you can try, let's say Fiori. Let's this time spelling correct. Fiori UI5 demo, something like that. Okay, app title में you can give something like my Fiori app. Okay. Namespace me, I told you, right? Remember, I was making some index.html file map, giving you some path. So generally, we follow the pattern is like com dot. Let's say we have Zaran, okay, tech dot tcs, okay, and then dot Fiori UI5 demo will automatically come up. So don't write up, just write only up to this, okay. And so if you remember yesterday, I was talking about while creating this namespace, I told this, it will be appended by the module name in BAS, not any other place, only in BAS it happens. Make sure your path is correct. Remember, I selected this path, that's why path is right. Project, if you by mistake your selection is here, then your projects, if you are not putting like your concentration that path here, it may go back to your inside the current project. So make sure your path is correct, which is project. Okay, this is latest version, that's fine. Now see, deployment activity and all FLP means Fiori Launchpad things we are not looking right now. We will be discuss about deployment and other stuff, configuration part maybe in the later stage, not now. But see what happened, like if I select yes, I'm just showing you just for idea what all it will come here. It will ask you your deployment configuration. So if you are in your ABAP system, like if you are in S4 system, okay, right. So we are not doing any ABAP S4 HANA deployment. What we are doing it CloudFront. If you are using ABAP or S4 HANA, right? Your deployment, then you have to select ABAP, then you have to put, you all might be remembering what is your package name. You have, ABAP repository means BSP app, repository basically, right? We used to have one package repository, enter the package name, right? Enter the repository name and what are all these info. You have to mention a task TR number here. This is required when you are developing in BAS, but deploying in your S4 HANA on-premise system. But when you are doing on BTP Cloud Foundry deployment, then just select Cloud Foundry. See how it's easy now. So if you're selecting Cloud, because see everything on the cloud, so you don't have to provide much information, just a reference of your S4 HANA. That's it. Okay. But as I said, may not be okay right now. We'll be taking this much. Okay, I will purely move to this part, and don't worry, in the middle of it also, if you want to add your deployment configuration, Launchpad configuration, we can do that. Okay, or chalo, let's ठीक है अभी, okay, let's select that. Okay, so that in the later stage, let's say if you are building something, maybe if we missed, then okay. So this is something called application to manage application, that you always keep it yes. This is some kind of handled by Cloud Foundry itself. And one more thing you can see here is there's something called FLP configuration. So I will say here yes, okay, so that it will support my Fiori Launchpad configuration, which we are doing it over there. It will create you one. Remember if anybody to run any Fiori app or GUI app or WebInPro app, which technical information is required to make it run over a Launchpad, like be it Fiori, be it SAP GUI, be it WebInPro application, which one parameter makes actually available that Fiori apps runs on the Launchpad. Anyone remember that particular part? I think the very first or second class.
I think semantic
Yeah,
information.
very good. Yes. Okay. Remember? Okay, fine then. Okay. Now, one thing you need to remember here, and what you need to do it here now, because I have just added your configuration of part, all of them, but I am not going to much discuss on your deployment strategy and all the thing. I will come back on this topic later on again. Don't worry. Okay. Now see, remember, because since I have choose my semantic object and I have taken this action, title, all these things, subtitle of my thing, these are the parts of my configuration things, right? When I'm doing some kind of configuration of Launchpad, so all this information I need to provide right now. Remember, that's the reason I said we will be talking in details. So not making this option available in our Fiori apps development journey, because our main focus is your development part, deployment and configuration. All these things we can take it later that. Okay, so it will maybe confuse you right now, for so make it no and just finish it. Now see, your template will start loading. You see in the beginning, in the bottom, see installing dependencies means what? It's installing your different files like node modules, like UI5 YAML is getting created, your empty your the file of your, which we have mentioned, package.json, package local.json, all this thing it automatically gets created, right? So this is the beauty, right? So you don't have to look for and struggle for what you need for your development, right? It gives you this the powerful, what is the meaning of template, that is the very way it will add advantage of and make a ease of your developer life, to not struggle with the initial setup, rather you focus on what you need to develop, because this setup and all is not helping you in your any project development. What it's going to help is your what you are going to develop your business use case, right? That's the idea, where be it your web IDE, or be it your BAS, or any many development tool, even open source also nowadays, they provide some basic template so that you don't have to struggle to set those things in the beginning. All right, now you can see here, remember this is the path we talk about, right? This is the folder you will be getting it. So you can see now, except this empty archive, I told you it will be only generated when you are doing deployment. But rest all, you see node modules we have, which has all the library of npm command, means your node library, node.js library, which is going to support here with respect to whatever types we do, right? Then we will not go here, it's just a set of library, so don't worry, it's just backend. I mean, in the background it's something it does, so we don't have to worry about. Now web app folder, remember this is the folder pattern we have a controller file to write your business controller logic. CSS is for writing your any customization coloring you want in your application. So this is where you maintain. Remember I told you last time, if you want to change the logo color, you want to change the font and the coloring of your everything. In that scenario, it is useful. Now you have I18N folder, which we will talk about here. So I18N is one of the model named a resource model. So I18N is also known as, so see, SAP Fiori supports international language support. Okay, so we'll talk about this. So what is this all about, and every folder I will talk about with reference to your, of course, our but we have the Bible. Okay, local service you can. Okay, so I think Vanita, this is your question here. Local service you told, right? Metadata. So this is where the place metadata will be coming as per the service you have selected, right? So you have selected user menu, right? Remember, so this is the user name, menu ka metadata will come locally. Okay, so not that package or JSON wala metadata, it doesn't mean this is the service metadata. Okay, so here it will come one folder just for your reference. We are not making it any change over there. This model is your local model reference. For example, you want to have a local JSON model you want to create, right? Then as per the design guideline, or you can say development practice in Fiori SAP UI5, you have one folder dedicated to that local modeling, and you can mention as a model.js. And here basically you are going to write, see, JSON model, whatever you have, you create over here as per the right practice. But you can of course create any model in the JS file as well. Okay, in controller file. Test folder is mainly we do for our, you are not focusing on this part right now. Test folder is mainly for automated testing, which you have different types of testing available in case of Fiori UI5 testing, OPA 5 testing. Okay, all these things. So that is the different segment. Okay, goes to apart from development, so we are not going there, but it just folder gets created so that if you want to include such things, you have to start using this folder and you have to modify everything here. View is the folder. We remember we maintain XML file where you write your controls definition, like your page page controls and everything which is going to be visually present to the users. That is something user interface will be going to declare in your XML view file. You see this is a sole here component.js file, right guys? So if you see here, we are not going to make any changes here until unless, I mean, we have some external libraries or something you need to import, then only we change this file. Otherwise we generally don't change this file. This is whatever declaration comes up, it comes up, that's it. So what you need to see here in component.js file, this UI component which is referring your component container, giving the metadata reference to your manifest.json file. Remember I was running the this scratch one, right? It was showing in the end. Lastly, it doesn't have manifest.json file. Yes, because without manifest.json file, your UI5 Fiori structure will never get to know what is all about your application, what it contains, how which file I should present first. So that information, basically the biodata of application is not available, so that's why it will not run. Okay, so this is the reference here, component.js file. So on Launchpad, what happens here? It will start from here. Bootstrapping, I told you, it will taken care by your everything in the Launchpad itself, because it itself is application. And anyway, you have a UI component reference available, be it your index or unified UI5, you always have a component container reference. So UI component is referring to that. Okay, so this component is nothing but your this component container information. And here you have reference to your manifestation, the biodata of application. And then you have initialize. This is the init method, which is basically, see, this component initialized by UI5 automatically during the startup of the app, and it calls this method. So it start from here, of course, it start this return function. Remember, if we talked about yesterday, whenever you start, you have to start with that part. Okay, got the point here? So in this scenario, you have to mention the list of whatever the things you required for your application, the libraries information, the company, only one, the place which we mention here, the component, there only we maintain the UI component. Until unless you are not inserting any additional component container, then only you need to add additional component definition. But generally one app, we have one component container. In this init method, when it's start UI component, you see this is my UI component, it will apply. Okay, this is a thing, but again reference of this file. Okay, whatever information it has. Okay, and it is passed that arguments, and then it enables routing. Means, remember, I will talk about your, again we have a navigation routing feature. So how you need to initialize that navigation, right? I see how I will move from one page to another page, right? Like say, I mean, just not here, like for example, if you remember, I have shown you an example. Take this also example, let's just assume this is the one page. So my first page to I'm going to second page, how this will support it. So you have to initialize it somewhere, right? So this is the initialization. So you need to initialize it first. This is the place we initialize. And remember, I told you about like any device, any model you are creating, which is going to present globally. So you see, any model, local model, if you're creating, you are creating in a model.js file. You see, create a device model. So if you go inside here, it is mentioned here, create device model. So this is where it reference here. Okay, it creates a reference. You are calling from here. I mean, what I mean to say is that you are calling from the component.js file and referring to your models and models to this method. Okay, and you're passing the parameter device. So this is just a declaration about device support. Okay, so any device model you want to default, this is one. If you want to specify some device information, then you need to device here. So just a high level information, what component.js does is it's just going to initialize. This is the most important part here. Okay, this is the one of the most important part, to give a reference to your manifest.json file. And secondly, it initialize your UI component and initialize your navigation, which is the router. Router will help you in navigation, and this is optional. That's fine. I mean, it just provide you the support of your device, like any device you are going to use, right? So it's just going to give you, but it's not going to stop anything, performing any application running. Okay, so understood. So this is the folder and file structure. I hope you all understood controller, what is the controller does, what it in, and all models, view, index. Okay, index is the place you remember I talk about it. So generally, since we are running locally also, right? So if you're not having index testing, it will not run as a web app, right? So but there are a few SAP customer who doesn't have to, looking for Launchpad, right? Because Launchpad is a paid version, right? If you want to host your application, you have to take a certification. I mean, for the Launchpad service, and you have to pay for it, right? So some customer who doesn't have budget constraint and all, they use a URL based application. So in that scenario, this application needs index.html file, right? That will help in bootstrapping if it's not a Launchpad. Launchpad method, it's anyway take care by Launchpad. So this is the place you remember. You see, this is the things which I told you. This is the namespace. Till here I have mentioned. And as yesterday also told, the name of the module, whatever you will mention, it will be appended back. So whatever module name you have given, it will be appended by automatically. It doesn't happen in Web IDE, but it happens in your BAS. Okay, so what this is your something called namespace. Okay, in technical terminology. Okay, so this is the namespace you can tell. And this namespace will be your uniquely identified path of your project folder whenever you want to navigate or reference to any file. Let's say I want to reference to my controller. I have to start with this namespace dot here controller dot app. So I start with up to here and then dot controller dot app. If I go to the view, so up to here namespace dot, I will say view dot app. If I will say anything like model, up to here dot model dot models, and then dot whatever method I have. So you don't have to write every time this long path. So what we do, we generally declare this path on top of it in the different files. I will show you there. Okay, so remember, so this is a very much important information. Now this is your bootstrapping ID to initialize. Source is the means basically this is the source of core library, like where from. Okay, see bootstrapping initialize, right? But from where it has to load all dependency library, right? It has to give the path. So this is the place it looks into it. Okay, so this is the SAP standard library path which has been provided, where in the background it will go and check all the dependent library. It will be make it available for you, right? This is the theme of your Horizon. And basically SAP Horizon means this is the new theme which currently going on. You can change to SAP Belize version 3 or SAP Fiori version 3, whatever available. Basically it's a theme name. How you want to display it. Okay, that will be you can write, but it will be applicable only when you are running in locally in web application. But it will be get overridden. It will not even give a present right on Launchpad. So it will be your application will look alike the way of theme decided for Launchpad. So all the apps which is running on your Launchpad will be coloring whatever the things is coming up as per the Launchpad theme what has been designed. Okay, it will be applicable only for your local. That's it. All right, now see on init. Okay, so this is another on init function which initially we used to have on init function here. We used to define the module, but right now I think this is the new design pattern where they that is also fine, right? By writing in a single line, by writing in the method, they used to declare on init and then used to give the path. So they're just giving the component support path. Remember, this is the nothing but they are talking about any component container which we define, or we have any component support you need. It needs to be done, which is nothing but again a component which is component container support. So this is SAP UI core component support. So from this core library, whatever component can be supported has been given here. It means it's saying initialize that component container. Compact version age stands for latest version. Okay, run this Fiori app in the web. You with the latest version of whatever you have the library available or the version of UI5 available until unless you not hard coded. And then of course the JS engine which is run, right? If you run in the browser, every browser application is running on some kind of engine, right? Like say like you have a Chrome browser, it has a V8 JS engine which is compiling your JS code, and that's how your application is running. Okay, and again asynchronization, you might have heard synchronization method, right? To load this application asynchronized way. Okay, for frame option means trusted, means like you might have seen that some kind of attack happens on web-based application, like it may try to run your application automatically. You might have seen suddenly some window will open, it will try to run your application. This is kind of a bug attack, or I would say virus attack, right? So in that scenario, it will support here. It will be protect you. So it's clearly mentioned frame options should be trusted, right? Trusted, or you can also on another property something called deny. If you mention deny, so it will never run in any of the such window. Okay, if it trusted, then only it is going. Trusted means let's support it, like it is verified by the browser. It is something which is not virusing, or it is not something which is unethical. It is not going to run there. So if it trusted, it will run. If you simply make deny, so no matter it is trusted or whatever, it will not even run. So generally it's a trusted one, but some business users say no, I don't want to run in any of the other frame, so just make it, so you just change here deny. Okay, so that kind of things will happen here. Again, see, this is the div is like div container. This is just representing, if you know about HTML5, so HTML5 div represents one container where you generally we provide, see, it's a container, right? ID container, the name of your namespace. It's just making sure that when you're running an application, it's running inside some container. Like you will see a little bit, there will be a space in the all the four corners. Okay, when you're running any application, it will have a little bit support until unless you are not overriding by some kind of customized CSS to fill in the entire space. That is something, but it generally runs in a small container of web application as a HTML5 div container. Okay, like that. Again, ID is nothing but just referring the namespace key. It's uniquely identified. Okay, and validation of course as a true. So this is all about your index.html file here. Just generally, what is the majority of writing index.html file to support and run as a web app, and to initialize your bootstrapping, your library reference, your theming, and most important, your namespace information is important. Okay, that is these four are much important part. And of course, now since we don't have init method written somewhere in a script file, so then it's just this line also now being important. So this is most important part, yeah, that you can say should be. And this is more of looking to latest version. That's the reason you can mention. So this 4-5 are more important part here. And this is the another div container definition. You want to run your application in certain container, like leaving some space in the all around. That scenario, it's like representing some div container of this will not be visible. Don't worry, it's not be going to draw a line here and div like container. No, it's a behind thing. Like you can inspect in the HTML object. It will not be visible for you, but in the background, it's actually running inside a div container. All right, now you see you have manifest.json file. Right, so this is the bio data which is getting referred by component.js file. Right, this is everything. So this description. Anyone having any question? Okay, I heard some voice. All right, so you see this is manifest.json file, right? So this is the bio data. Like if you say it's a person, okay, a Fiori app is a person. So like you go to some kind of marriage and on something or let's say you go to your job interview, they ask you your resume, right? To know about you, right? So this is the bio data of the Fiori app or UI5 application. It has all the important information listed. If this file is not available, it will not be allowed to run this application. We have just seen in our this scratch tried approach. All right, so what it has, so it start with the version of normal versioning. It will generate by default, so no worries about this. This is not even, this is just a minimum version to maintain of your UI5 library. It has 3 sections. One is sap.app, one is sap.ui, one is sap.ui5. Okay, so what it contains, this is very important. So this 3, you remember this 3 type, you can just remember or note down somewhere. Like we have 3 types of configuration, 3 objects configuration in your manifest.json file, which deals with 3 various information. One is sap.app. What it has, See, SAP.app may you are mentioning your ID. Remember, this is your namespace which we define in your index file. This is going to be your uniquely identified ID of your app. So you have to mention that. What is the type? It's application. What is the C? Remember I18N, I told you this is one of the important file here which will support your international language. Like it's not only going to run in your English, if you want to run in French, you want to run in Chinese, you want to German, Hindi, or I don't know Hindi supports or not, but let's say Middle East mein Arabic word. So all these things, I mean, you don't have to write and program in that language. Rather, your application text will be appearing into the local browser, whatever language has been set. So that supports provided by Fiori apps. But for that, of course, you need to do some configuration, right? So we will talk about that later. And then application version, of course, this is the first version we are deploying it, going to develop. Title is app title. Okay, what is the description you are maintaining here? What are the resource.json file, right? Whatever resource you are going to look into to do those resource file which will look on. What are the template? You remember we have used Fiori basic template. So it's just going to give you see that everything is tracked down, right? Kya ID hai, what the type hai, what are the version we are going to use. Okay, what are the template I have used? It's mentioned here. What version of that template we have used, what tools, Fiori tools we have used, this is something auto-generated ID, so don't worry. So this is one of the most important section which will uniquely identify your app. That's why the namespace start with sap.app. This is all about your app initial identification. Then you see data source. So this is the data source is the one of the major part or most important part which will talk about your OData services or any API you are using it. So remember I have used this user many service. So it has listed out, okay, this is your path of your service, right? And then type kya hai? It is OData. What are the setting we have? The annotation setting right now is not available on this. So that's why it's not generated annotation. So it just without, and it means it doesn't have CDS probably. It doesn't have annotation. Then local URI is the same thing, local service, and meta is just a path. You see here, we have shown you local service metadata.xml file. And OData version is 2. V2 we are using it, OData version 2 you are using it. So this information, right? So what else it contains? SAP.app, it contains your even if you insert, if you want to talk about, you mention the ID of your application, means the name is uniquely identified ID we maintain, what are the application version we have, what are the type of application, title, description, what template we have used, and most importantly the data source information, what you are going to use in that one, which is your main service. You can, and of course you can define n number of service, right? Here you can say like my ABC service. I can then similar way, same pattern. You have to just go and define your services, every information, whatever you're going to use it here. So it's the same thing. Under data source, you can have n number of services declaration. Okay, so that is also supported. All right, so this is the version of SAP.app. Now UI is more of talking about technology library, right? So what technology we are using it? The UI5, of course. Icons means like what are the any particular icon you are using it. Okay, SAP has their own set of icon, SAP icons. Okay, Explorer, yeah. Okay, so the SAP itself having their icon explorer. So basically you will be coming here and you will see, what are the icons is available for SAP UI5, but Fiori, what are the icons we have available, right? All these things, SAP Business Suite, what are the icons is available. So generally, let's say UI5 controls icon, right? If you go here, you will find, see, these are the controls, some except button where you want to put this. So there are various icons based on the business terminology they use here. For edit, this you can use it. For documentation, you can use this, right? For discussion, I mean, it's just that icons information that you can do, but that's why if you see here, it's actually blank, right? So why? Because generally we use those icons information while declaring my control. We don't use directly what is going to be for phone. But if you have any specific, like if it's running on the phone, what icon you want to modify. So this is what I talk about. I talk about merely for our control icon. Okay, and this icon what we are talking about, the icon of your apps, how it's going to look alike. Okay, on tablet phone, what are the icons you have. UI, if you want to list out, you have to list out here. But that's why it's blank, because it's cannot be defaulted. It cannot be predicted, right? That's why. Device type supported, desktop, tablet, phone. So this mainly talk about your UI, user interface. Now this is the after SAP.app. If any other part is important, of course, all three are important. If any of them is not missing, it will not run. But as per your priority wise, if I say, so SAP.app is one of the important, and then the SAP.UI5. This is going to keep all the information of your, again, technical information about your file, your navigation, your router, your controller, everything. So for example, if you see here, flex enable is one property which generally indicates if we can make it false also, not a problem. By default, it comes as a true. Why we make it flex enable means flexibility, means you can do any modification supported on this application. That's why it is true. If you make it, I mean, generally it comes for your extension applications like flex enable. If you are making it true or false, it will support your extensibility. Okay, so to support extensibility, flex enable property used as a true. If not, then false. The version of UI5, of course, the latest version we have. This is the dependencies, right? This is a library. This is the minimum version. It starts from where I am started with this version 1.19. Okay, this I've taken the latest version again. 1.19 is the latest version. And then what a library you are looking for. You see, it listed down all the important library, right? We have a lot many library. Remember, yesterday I've shown you, but it listed only which is most important library. SAP.m is the most used library in SAP UI5 and Fiori nowadays, because it's mostly a responsive control. Then core library, which of course there's certain core library which you remember in the index file also we have path to code actually given. It has all important core libraries. It cannot be replaced. It has to be there. F is again used, is a new library which is used for your page layout, like dynamic page. If I'm going to use, then this is going to have it. So this is more of like SAP.F stands for Fiori libraries. Okay, but means specific to whatever the next generation of development is coming, especially for dynamic like page. Just for example, suit template. If I'm using some template, it will be going to use that template because I've used some basic templates. That's why it has been, this entry has come. If it's not, then it would have not come. Comp library, again, another, we have, I think this library about, we already have discussed, and we will be more discuss in details when you are going to use or respective control from this library. So just for information, like it has the information of library, dependency, content size. Okay, compact and co. If you see what is content density, see here, see when our application runs in your desktop, right, or laptop, and when it runs in your mobile, right, the control, what you see here, it needs to be, adjusted accordingly. Like if you're running in the desktop, your control size should be smaller, right? Because anyway you have more screen, right? Let's, for example, if I'm running this application, these icons should be, this is right now is a smaller. But at the same time, let's say I'm going to change back to this kind of mobile device, right? So the icon size has to be reduced. This has to be, this is where we call is compact and coziness, right? So that compact and coziness comes with that. Compact means when you have a screen available, so that reduce the icon or size of the icons, text of the icon based on the width is available of the device. Cozy means like again the same thing. If you have a small, size of the devices, right? What I mean to say, like mobile devices, okay, and name anything like okay, what else we have? Mobile tab we have, right? And yeah, and then you have seen monitor, big monitor, right? What I say, like in your big mall, you might have gone and seen that kind of, it's available there. So how you will make it, set your the visibility of that. So content density generally define that, like different content density, certain controls you should be, you see the size may decrease, increase based on the whatever you have available criteria in terms of screen size is given. Okay, so font size may decrease, may increase. Okay, or so generally in compact mode may font size basically is going to be remain the same, but generally the dimension, I told you the controls basically is going to make change in the control side. Okay, dimension controls and a space may be differed. Okay, and in case of like if you have Koji again, so whatever the controls is available, whatever space has been provided will be a little bit smaller. Okay, so this is the difference between the devices of compact and Koji. All right, now this model declaration here. So remember in the top we have mentioned one model, right? This is our OData model which we have given data source. This is also one of the OData model, right? So don't forget this is our OData model can name main service. Then you have another model. Remember, if I talk about I18N is another type of model. We have like we talk about JSON model, OData model. This is known as resource model. You see, this is resource model. This resource model helps you translation of your text, what you see in your application. And the setting may is a path. See here up to here namespace. The I18N is a folder name. Dot I18N is the file name. Of course, dot property we are not mentioning. We are just mentioning the first prefix of your file name. That's it. In that model section, you can create n number of your model. N number of model of could be your I18N, could be your data source. Right now, see, since it's a main service, right? Main service is a default one. That's why I have not given any name here. If I give some name, right? If I can say like OData model service something, then whenever I go and I refer this service, I have to call by this name. But if I'm not giving any name here, it is unnamed name. Unnamed means I can access it even by passing any name. I can just say OData.get model, right? So it will just give me whatever the model available in the component layer model, right? It's like when I'm saying no name, it means it's globally available. If uniquely cannot be identified, I don't have to pass the name. But if you the moment you pass some name, you have to pass that name. So generally name we use when you have multiple services attached to it, multiple data model you are referring it, right? That time you have to of course provide that information that you should give the name. If you have only one, then it's up to you. I mean, generally we don't provide, but I personally prefer by giving name so that I should have that reference available. But a standard way, generally they don't have it, so it's okay. But understood, right? Under the model, you define the modeling. One is Y18N model. Second one is N number of any model you can create. It could be OData model. It could be your JSON model. It could be any model you want to make it available globally. Globally means entire application it should be available. Okay, there are certain we will show you something called local model, specific to particular view and controller only will be available. It will not be available in the second controller. Okay, that's the idea where we are talking about. This when you are declaring any model here, it means it is available across view and controller. But if you are defining any model inside this controller, it will be bound to only that controller. Okay, so that's the difference. Remember that. Resources, again, any additional resource you are attaching, like see CSS is known as additional resource because you are going to modify the coloring and theme. Then of course you have to provide that path, or any others, any resource file you are providing, you have to mention here. And then you have most important configuration called routing. We will be talk about very in details about routing feature. I'm just right now giving you introduction part. So routing is the one concept which helps you your application navigation. See, you are running the application, right? But how it will know that which page I should load first? I click on button, I have to go to the second page. How your application will know that okay, he has clicked on this button, I have to go to the second button, second page. That information should be provided, right? So those configuration will be taken care here. Okay, so in this area it will be present here. So we define here, we start the configuration part. The first routing, this is the of course a name, unique name. If you remember, under the component.js file, we have something called initialize router initialize. Okay, if you initialize it, then your routing will routing is belongs to same family. You see, it's the router. Initialize, router is the method was there. Okay, so under this routing, you will see that. So you have configuration available here. Okay, so under this configuration, you have a router class which you define. This is the standard. This is the library of dot routing. Dot router is the one which we are going to use it. So this is the class name. So you under routing. So everything you write under routing, many things. So under routing, your first thing is configuration. What configuration you to maintain here is the router class, the view type. Of course, we are maintaining. You are going to use is XML view type, asynchronous loading support, and this is a path of my right. This is the namespace and path. See, this is my path of folder view, right? And then aggregation with controls. Of course, it should be with respect to the pages. That's why pages. This is the ID of your first app, first page. Basically, I would say the do you remember yesterday I was talking about there will be something called root view. We generally the idea of giving app as a first name. I will not do make this part heavy. I will create another folder and file. Sorry, I will create another file for another page, but I will not make it load. This is not ideal because you keep your app first page should be very faster to load. You just keep it as a identification purpose, like it's going to be a root view, the first view which will initiate your loading of the app. That's it. So this is the idea of that app. And yeah, control clear means like if you make it true, no, so what will happen, the whatever aggregation you have maintained, it will be keep clearing it. So it's not a good idea. It's very high level scenario when you do generally clearance, but generally you keep it false. Now you have roots. Roots is the thing which will decide which page it should load first and which page it should not load first. Okay, so in our scenario, let's say root map something is given, root app. I will say no. I will say default. This is my default pattern. Means I don't want to see name will be suggested that whichever view file basically you are going to navigate, that name you have to provide. Let's say if I'm going to navigate app.view, right? I will provide app here. Okay, but if my app is going to be a default or first root view, then I don't have to give any name. It's really, I will keep it blank. This pattern you see, this is called optional pattern. Like what does it mean? It means like if I want to pass some query as a mandatory parameter to display as a on the top of your URL, then you maintain this pattern. Otherwise, it's not needed. So even if you right now with the question mark, it's optional. But if you make it in under the bracket in the curly braces, it will become. We will talk about like if you maintain this something like this. If you maintain, we will talk about this. There's something called mandatory parameter and something called you have something called optional parameters. Right now what we have is optional parameters, so keep it optional because we are not going to pass any parameter here. Okay, so means the parameter which whatever you'll pass, it will be visible in your pattern where it will be visible in your page. Like if I'm moving here, it will be visible along with the application whatever I see here. See, whatever I will be doing, it will be going to display something, okay, on the pattern URL pattern. Target again, where you want to go, like when the app will load, where do you want to, which view you want to load. So that name you have to give. So I'm going to create my home as a first page to load, and I will give this name whatever I have as a target as a home. Okay, and I will give them, this is again the name I will give as a home, and I don't want to put any ID, so it's okay. I will keep the view ID, it's fine. So the moment you ID remove, it will say hey, yellow. No, not required. It's just a warning. That's fine. Okay, root view, if you see here, it talk about your first view, which is going to be linked. So for me, I am going to use my app is my first view, and I will use this app as my control ID also. Okay, so now if you understood by this pattern, what I am saying here, this app view, I am not going to do anything. Rather, I will going to remove this page ID also. Okay, so see, understand that why we are doing this here, but it will help you to understand. So the idea is to not make your first file heavy. So if you are going to make your first file itself heavily loaded, then your performance of your app may impact it, right? Because your first page itself, you have this defined lot of controls. It is going loading here and there. It's perfect. Generally, I mean, as per design, we generally don't do in the root view. Generally, the first view is your root view. So don't do any coding in your root view. Just pass your ID of your application. So this is my app ID. Let's say I'm going to pass what I given here. I given app, right? So let's say I will say Fiori app ID. Okay, that will be good. Fiori app ID. Now I will close this. Okay, remember this is the opening parenthesis, not parenthesis. This is the opening bracket, and this is the closing. I think diamond bracket I will say, right? Okay, so this is something ID of your root view, or basically app ID. You have to change here. Okay, and of course you have to change here. All right. So now what we have to do now under the I change in these two places, right? So I have passed here. I have just passed my view ID, which I have created as my control ID, as well as I have passed my root view ID, what I am referring to. Now home is my one of the view which I want to load it first. So what I will do now, I will go inside the view file. I will create a new file which is called home. Same thing which I have copied. Dot name. You see the pattern name. It should be a small everything. View.xml. I will just enter. Okay. Now I have to write some code here, right? So okay, no worries. So what you will do? You come here. You copy everything. You put back here. This time you remove this. Okay, do a smart coding. Okay, now come here inside this. Now anyone tell me, we just discussed about that. If I have a view file, so the controller which it is referring, is it correct, or shall I modify it?
Modify.
What should I keep?
Control.home.
Very good. So I have to go now and create a controller with the same name which I have created for view. See, generally guys, okay, we generally refer to maintain the same name, so that your reference should be good. I mean, you don't have to again going to basically create again the same different name. So it will create confusion. App to see app view, app controller, home view, home controller. So it gives clear indicator, right? This view having this controller available. So that's the idea of being that. So now we say home controller. Okay, again I will enter here. Again I will go and copy this. Okay, app controller. Because I don't want to write everything. You should also not do. Okay, that declaration is fine. Now what I have to change here? Again, the path. My path is again here home. I am referring to my home controller. All right, now let's come to my home view. Now let's say in this home view, I want to put something. Let's say I will put some button. Okay, remember yesterday I think this is the page I opened for button and all, right? Okay, so what I told you, you always refer this sample, search to the control, go to the coding section, and you don't have to actually write everything. You just have to first, okay, before that, one more thing. If you see that part, I have not mentioned anything about my page. So see guys, if you're not mentioning about the page, your controls will be here and there. It will not segregate it. So you should always start with page. Okay, this is my page, and see the page got linked, and now inside the page I will have different. I can have header, I can have subheader, I can have, but I will do what I will do. I will go step by step. I will just type content. Okay, this is my content. Under this content, I am going to put see don't worry this about red guys, because this generally refers to, see, read this thing, what they're saying, cannot have an empty ID. So generally ID is preferable whenever you want to, unique ID means like if you want to refer some control from your, during your coding, it's a good idea. You can just have a ID and get the reference of it. Okay. Okay. So that's the reason we maintain such kind of roles. Sorry, what I'm to say, the ID. But if you're not maintaining it, that's also fine. It's not necessary. But let's say if you want to remove this error, you can just put here page some ID, anything you is as per you. Okay, see, it's gone now. Under the content now, I'm going to put something called some button. Okay, let's say this is my button type, and I will just copy this. Okay, you should also do that. Okay, you should also do that and change it as per your need. See, again red color came here, no worries, it's about ID. So just put here ID. Here I will just put ID, like something button ID. See, red gone, right? Like that. So if it's come, so just sometime you, this is how your this bit in BAS will help you. If something is wrong, it will say, see, now it's not there, because again it's asking for ID. But anyway, for me it's not required, so I will just remove it. Okay, we'll talk about this layer data and all. I don't also want this part. Okay, so I will just remove it. I'll just keep it simple. So I have a type here. Type means accept. Okay, text me, I can write it hello everyone. Okay, that's it. Okay, and this is my press is a event. Now see how I got to know, okay, these are the properties available for button. Very good. So what you can do, you go to API reference, you search for button. Okay. Now when you're searching for button, it will give you different libraries. So just make sure we don't have F library, so leave it. We have M library, right? You see how you what is an M library, because you have the M library defined here. Okay, so I told you mainly large scale we're going to use M library, which is responsive library. Okay, as much as we can, until unless it's restricted to some feature. Okay, now so if you go to button, you go to this property section, you will see everything has been mentioned here. See, enable property, it has icon. So let's say I want to put some icon, right? So I will go and put here icon. Okay, an icon may, now you have to put the path of icon. How you will get, go to icon explorer. Okay, I want to say accept is my icon here, so I will just copy this icon path and I go and put back here. This is my icon, done. So always refer this SAP or icon file if you want to put some icon, and under the icon you can put this. Text me, you see again another property, how you got to know this is my property. So see, text is my property, I did that. Okay, next type is different type is there. Button type, you click here, you will see type is accept, type is attention, back, critical. So these are the type available. So whichever type you will use, you just type and just put this last part, neutral, reject, negative, right? It will tell you what is all about success type or transparent type, or what is negative type, something like that. So as per your need, let's say this button is meant to do some positive action, to use accept. Something like rejection, to use reject type, so it will become red. Something like a warning, to use something yellow, different color is given. If you want to something in blue color, so it's emphasize color, to type is emphasize, something. Now we talk about events. How do I identify what is my event? Okay, so I will come back here to the event section, and I will go back here, and I will go to API reference here. I have gone again button, go to events, select press. If you select the press, it is going to give you, see, fired when user click on the control. So this is where I click on press, right? You can give any name, but make sure whatever name you are going, I will say like on button press. So I will just copy this name, go to your controller. See, this is my, I will talk about, this is one of the life cycle method. We will talk about the life cycle method also. So for now, let's say I want to use, so this is, remember, yesterday we discussed about this is your return function. Everything you write inside this, and then this returns in this. So what everything should come under that. So this is one of the function. I'm not using it. This is your custom function you are writing. So always start with, this is your event name. Give the name as a function like declaration, and then you put parenthesis. Okay, before that, yes, parenthesis, and then curly braces. Come here, and now you can put something in the sense like, okay, you want to what you want to display some message, right? Or okay, let's say I will keep it right now till here. I will not write any logic. I will show you. Okay, now, so up to here you understood how I declared page. Under the page content I have button. I could have made a subheader, header, everything. We will go one by one, no worries. Now, so the idea of is my manifestation is saying this is going to be my first view. I don't want any pattern name available. If you want to give a name, it will display as a home. Not a problem. Okay, that's up to you. This is your target. Target means the first page which is going to load is my home, which is my view name. Okay, and then this is root view. Root view stand for the ID which you have given, which is your app. This is my root view I have taken, and under this I have not written any function, nothing. We don't have to do actually. Okay, until you need to load or something to do at the very beginning of your loading the first page itself. That scenario you may write some logic there, but yeah, I mean it depends on your use cases, but generally we don't. App view may I just mentioned my app ID, nothing else. Okay, all right, so I think everything is ready now, and let's start to run this app. Right, so this is, I told you, you have two options. Either you can go open new terminal and use the CD path and then do that, but it's again the most simplest way is right click on the project module, open it a terminal, and here now see this time I don't have to create anything. Remember I have created a UI5.yaml file. See, I don't have to create it, automatically given. See, spec version, metadata. Remember I have also mentioned the spec version, metadata, name, type, server. So okay, server has been fetched by the your whatever we have taken is taken from your runtime. So this part is getting generated by default by the BAS, whichever we are going to use it, like custom middleware. We have what are the Fiori tools we are available. Remember I told you, right, this is going to be talk about your UI5 development tooling, what you are going to use and referring it, right? What are the backend things, right? Backend thing means what are the paths you are using it. So this is your, remember this is your path, your SAP data connectivity in cloud connector. This is my destination name, right? This is my client number, like 100, 200, whatever we maintain like that, right? This is a UI5 path to resource. Test resource means it's supporting your Launchpad. Okay, and this is of course your UI5 SAP.com path. So, and then this is the path is important. So these generally give you the basic information of UI5 tooling information. These are very important information, like what referring to your type and metadata of nothing but your name of your application. Then this is the backend information which is mentioned here. This is again your UI5 supported path, and Launchpad supports path has been mentioned here. And then this name is again important for your configuration when you are going to deploy, when you're going to path, what path it has to look here. Web app is my major path, right? So it's going to look for that path, right? So this is again a configuration deployment perspective. It will look for your port is like it's referring your local port when you are running the application, how it's going to run. Then again, see Fiori tools overview is just a name, and then what component it is going to be referring it is your ID of your application and the theme what is mentioned. So UI5 tooling is describing all the required information in terms of your development tooling object, right? Your backend, your Fiori, UI5 library, etc. But majorly, what is the another file which is called package.json file? Okay, this is the another important file. It's a metadata of your developed project. So what is it? It will talk about your name of your module. Okay, which project you are talking about. So this is the module name. Here it doesn't take your name special name. It will just take your module ka name. Okay, and then of course which type of application it is, what are the keywords, because since we are using SAP UI5, right? See, automatically it has listed out all the keywords. So you be it SAP UI5 or UI5, somebody you open UI5, it still be identified. Okay, and then see, this is the main file which is going to launch. But why it's mentioned here is only because when you're running in the web, it just given a reference to it. Like if you are running, if you have index.html file, it will refer the as a first file to run in your index.html file. Okay, and then again, what are the dev dependencies we have, like with respect to tooling, which we have also mentioned when I'm doing from scratch, right? And this is the scripting, right? Remember I'm using, right, npm run start, right? And I'm using the build, deploy. So these are the script which we will use in our command line here. If it's not available here, no, it will not be supported. All right. So this is a Fiori run command. If you remember, I have also mentioned like script, start, run, all these things. So this is the scripting part, which will, it's like again a short description of your metadata information of your Fiori or UI5 application, which is very important because these are the files, which is responsible for runtime. Okay, these are runtime file, which if it's not available, it will not be identified now what you are running, which module you are running. Okay, what script you are trying to. Suppose I'm doing here npm start local, but there's no anything called if I start local if I have given some syntax changing, it will not uh, identify which command I have passed. So these things are important to maintain. Those files are runtime files and very important file which is in behind other than what you develop here. So that's why these files you don't worry about it. Whenever you use your template, be it Fiori style, be it Fiori elements, these file will be automatically generated. Okay, and rest all use whatever local YAML is all like same thing. It's creating just one or another information of whatever you are maintaining it. Local YAML may talk about your whatever library you are using it. It's almost what you maintain in your manifest, right? A kind of similar information in terms of that, or whatever you have UI5 YAML. Since sort of this, everything they have segregated. Okay, so basic funda what UI5.YAML contains is just the same thing. It's all contains your development UI5 tooling information about your project. That's it. Similarly, package log may it's again provide a lot of information about your the node modules of this is the long very path. Okay, whatever you see, this is the node modules present, right? So it talk about every having a path. So it talk about this libraries. Okay, so don't worry about this path, just have a understanding, means like what this file having it. You generally not going to change anything in these files. Okay, it's a very rare scenario when we modify something. Let's say for example under package or JSON file, if I want to include some additional script thing, a script action, then only I can come and put that, else will not change it. Okay, all right. So I think hope everyone is clear all this about the filing and this structure which we have just now maintained it and we modified. Now let's try to run it. So I will just npm, I will say run build. I'm just build one time. Build will help you know if everything is fine. Okay, remember when I was running for this scratch, it was throwing error because something is missing. We was fixing like that. So if everything is fine, the build will be giving you a green information. If something wrong, it will automatically detect and it will tell you, hey, this is failed. Okay, now I can say npm run start. Okay, npm run start. Okay, spelling wrong. npm run start. Okay, now see, if it's all good, then it will automatically run. And it will tell you, it will either automatically will tell, or sometime if it is not even opening now, you might have seen one local host URL has generated, right? See here, so if you click on this, let's say if by default it has not came, maybe you have blocked this first time, it will block this. Okay, you might get these things in a pop-up like it has been blocked. So if you're not enable it, it will not open your next page. Then you could do one thing, you either allow to open the pop-up, or you click and just click this. So it will again open your, and you just select index.html file. So it will run your application. Okay, so both the thing is possible. Okay, now if you do this, you see, hello everyone, my app has loaded, my Fiori app, which I have mentioned in my if you remember in my introduction part, I have as a title I have mentioned my Fiori app. That's why the heading came as a my Fiori app. The button which I have put here on this hello everyone, this is my hello everyone. This is what I was talking about. This is your actual page. And this is in the background, you see it's a part of one div container which we have mentioned in the index.html file, right? So this is how, this is my first thing, it got loaded, right, everyone? So your first application which we are running right now from very basic what we are able to run is my first view, which is going to run on my locally first application. Now, if I want to attach some event to it, right, on button press, right, on button press, I have some event I have not mentioned, right? Okay, so what I will do, there is something called message box. You have something called message toast. So in SAP, right, to display certain message, there are different controls are present. Like something, one control is called message box. Okay, so message box, what it does, see, message box में क्या होता है, like I will show here, it will display some kind of message for certain time. Okay, it will be available on the main page, but it will not be closed automatically. Rather, you have to close it. Okay, this is the message box. So let's see what I'm showing here. If I click on some message box, see, it is going to display something like that. And until I'm not closing, okay, it will not close. Okay, like that. There another one called message toast. Something called message toast. Message toast here. Okay, this message toast is as some message will be displayed and appear automatically, disappear automatically. Let's say I saying here, see, this is the message in the bottom you see here. It is displaying, it will automatically go after a few seconds. Of course, those time duration you have to you can default is I think 3 seconds. You may make up to 5 seconds, 6 seconds, or up to what number of time, but it doesn't have any button to close. It will automatically close after that duration, right? So let's say I want to use message toast. Okay, so what I have to do is you have to go and check for your view file. Under the controller, you are going to use your message toast to copy this message toast library reference, come to your controller file, because you are not going to use view file, right? We are going to use it inside the controller message toast. So don't worry, be it's a double quote or single quote, it both are a string only. Okay, so nobody. So whenever any control reference you put, you make sure you put as a return parameter for this function. Okay, as a parameter. In what will happen in that case, you don't have to write sap dot m dot message to see is came here. So you don't have to write every time this path, you don't have to write. So what you have to path, just mention message toast. This you can give any name, like you can give message toast test also. Whatever you give reference now, you make sure you are giving the same reference here. But ideally you keep it the same name because it gives you exact meaning, right? Then you have to help you. Now this message toast will have some method, right? Okay, so where you'll find that method, go here in API reference message toast, go here and check for the method. These are the method. See the method may what we have, we have the method available called show is the method message toast dot show. Okay, so I will use here dot show SHOW, and I will say here hello world something, or hello something, I am message post. Okay, what one of the good feature of BAS is, you know what, if anybody has worked on Web IDE, you will see every time whenever you modify something in the file, right, you have to click on either Control S or there was an icon to save, right? But BAS में क्या होता है, it has automatically saved. See, I don't have to press any Control. I'm not pressing any Control S. See, there's no even save option. It's automatically saved, and you see in the bottom right in the terminal, see it's processing your changes parallelly. Means during runtime, the moment you're writing event dot, it is processing your everything, and I don't have to refresh also, because see, just focus on this page. I did just see a little bit. Okay, see, automatically it got refresh. I'm not did anything. So this is the one of the good feature you can say. Otherwise, Fiori launch web IDE mein kya hai? You have to always run again, right? Run and something or other refresh this page. It used to happen if you have work on that. Now see if I click here. See, hello, I am message toast. Okay, this is now. Let's say there is a requirement. Okay, no, I want to see this message toast not in the bottom. I want to see in the top corner. I want to see in the here left or center, right? Okay, that also can be done. Where you will find the information under API information. If you go top, you will see these are the list has given, right? The duration, how many second you want? 3 second. This is default one. Okay, this is my this is my duration, right? So let's say suppose I want to modify something. Okay, what I will do here now, so I will go and just copy it and I will modify something. I will see how it's going to look like after that. Okay, like this. So now what will happen? See, what I'm going to do is change here. I will say here center. I will go and I'll put it in the center. I will not put in bottom. I will just put it center. Okay, I will make this as a 5 second. Okay, width, let's say I will make it as a 22 rem. Okay, 22 rem, and offset is like what like close and flow. I will keep this default. Okay, something like that. Okay, now see what difference came here. So if I am doing these changes, so it will be hopefully, yeah, done. If something wrong, no, your app will be stopped there. Now see, hello, I am message toast. See, it was bottom, now it's came in the center. Now see, duration also increased by 5 seconds, so it long lasted for a few more seconds. You got this point? How, see how you are referring, how I am referring to, and see these are default feature, right? So you don't have to write, because if you're not overriding any default feature, you can remove it. No harm into, because default will be always default. No need to change anything. So you just this you have overrided, so remove it. It's not a default, you have overrided, so don't, just leave it. All right, so this is a very simple one of the control which I have talk about, but there are many other control which you can use it and you can develop it. Okay, now till now what we discussed about the various files, the folders, the view, how you can define. Of course, I told you, right, there are a lot of information that we have to start with, like see bootstrapping we covered view control, how you can do that in controller, how you can write, but these are very basic level. Okay, we will talk about model. This is your translatable text. Okay, let's see this about translatable text. So this text is called resource model, right? So this resource model is actually a process of internationalization. Okay, that's why in short it is called I-18N. Okay, basically it's represents like you supports all the international language, probably what is available globally widely used. Those languages you can set here as a translatable text. All right, how it happens, how it works. See, so in that scenario, you see this is a folder here, right? You see, remember I have given app title. You see this, there mentioned here app title in the bottom, in the beginning, right? App title description. Okay, so what I will do, I will change here app title to something else. I will say my first Fiori app. Okay, my Fiori. I will say here my first Fiori application. Okay, title again, this is app title. You can keep it same as a title. Okay, so this title and all, don't worry, confused. One title is for your Fiori Launchpad, one title is for local. Okay, so whatever you are maintaining in the title section is generally go for your this app title, generally referred in your what I'm saying in terms of your title section of your app title, title. Okay, like that. So but title is also like one property referred in your Launchpad, one property locally. Okay, now see this got changed. This also got changed, my first Fiori app. Now you see the I have button right here. In this button, what I will do now, see I don't want to hard code this part. I don't want to hard code. Even in my view, I don't want to hard code, right? So what I will do here, I will keep this. I'll put here parenthesis. This is the syntax. You put I18 18n, and you put here this golden bracket and put here what was the name? Hello text. Yeah, I will say okay, hello button text something, and come here. Okay, what you have mentioned, hello everyone, I was mentioning, right? So this is my value, but it needs to be passed under this text value. So it will go back and here. So if you see here right now, if I am not putting anything, so it will be coming here, see hello button text, because it is still your button control will still refer your this text only if it's not available here. So to make it available, you put that text over here and say hello button text, hello everyone. Now you see this will be reflected back. Got everyone? You see now it came as a what it came? Tell me what it came. It came as a real text what I have maintained in my file, like in my I18n file. Now see, I in the controller, remember in the controller also what I have done is I have something maintained as a hard coded, right? I have hard coded something here. I want this also to be maintained in I18n, right? So for what I will do in that scenario, I have to call my resource model also in here, like whatever I'm mentioning here, right? In my file. View may it works because view may I don't have to call it. Remember I told you in the manifest.json file, this I18n, whichever model you have mentioned, any model you refer here will become a global model. So in I18n, I'm already in the view, it's already bound to I18n. So I don't have to declare separately. But in controller, there's no right that it's not directly bound. See, even I'm using any control, any library, I am declaring it. So it's not bound to it. So you have to make sure you have to provide that reference here. How you will reference I will provide. So we have certain life cycle method. I will talk about one by one. One is called on init method. So what is life cycle method? We have generally 4 types of on init method. Okay, we will maybe discuss this part on tomorrow session in details. So let's say this is one of the first life cycle method. Then we have then before on before rendering. Then we have on after rendering. Then we have on exit. What all this does, I will talk about. But let's see, we'll focus on this on init right now. So on init is the most utilized first function. What the life cycle method does, no, it will do the work what is supposed to do in the beginning or end or middle, whatever. So this on init method is says ki you initialize something in the very first time. If you do it very first time, it will only run once. Even you refresh this application, right now it will going to hit, if it's already loaded now, so it will not reload back this function again. It means to load only once. Okay, that's the reason we maintain it's called on init, means something you initialize very first time. So let's say I will say my this dot, I will say resource resource model. I will just giving some name, resource model equals to what I will say here, this dot. Now I told you this is my whatever I mentioned in the manifest is a component level model, means global model. So we say global model name is something referred, you can say get owner component, get owner component. See, we are referring component level model, means something is a global available. So we always refer by get owner component. So anything you refer with the help of get owner component will give you whichever thing is available globally, it will be going to be make it available for you. Okay, so I'm giving the name here. My model name was I18n, which we have defined in and then get You remember what is the name here? This is the resource model, right? So I will be saying here get then resource model. Now this is my one of the global variable which contains the resource model information. Now in this scenario, what I will do, I will say this dot get text of whatever I am maintaining here. So this definitely I'm not going to maintain like this. So this will be my basically this is going to be my text part. I will go here, message toast text something. I am going to maintain this value here, and then I am going to refer this part over here. Okay, hello something like that, and it's because of this hello I am okay. Yeah, it should be something. Yeah, I am message toast, because if you put string, it will be considered as a different way. Okay, now see, I have replaced this my resource, but now see every text which I am referring it, now I am referring from my I18 file. So it is going to refer my whatever text I am going to put that back, it is going to refer back over here. Okay, so now see, understood, right? Though this dot get honor component, and then you have get model with that I18 what we are saying it, and then the resource whatever. Okay, I think this is not resource model, this is resource bundle. Okay, sorry, bundle. Yeah, it's bundle because it's a bundle of text. Generally we call it as a bundle of text. So now this will be my reference to entire controller wherever I want to put the text from this particular I18 folder. Okay, now see, it's came. See, hello, I am message toast. Okay, now everyone, just quick test for all of you. Go to home view page. I want you to make a reference of your, let's say, button text. I was talking about right in the sample. Let's say you take button. Okay, go to your button side, whichever we are using here, sap.m.button, where it goes here. Okay, go to here, check the code part. I want you to put some title to the page. I want you to put some custom header, some information. I want you to put some subheader, and then you put that toolbar, and then you put your button here. So basically you're going to be look like this. Okay, so refer this, and then can you perform this same task here in the home view? I hope if anyone whoever has followed me, because I have not gone so fast, I hope you can catch up. You please follow this, and I want you to do now modify this. Like I want this here as a sub. You can, of course, I told you, you always refer the sample. I want only thing is that you make modify now. So put some title if you want, or you can leave it. So leave the page part. I want you add something in custom header, change something in this, like whatever you have, then put some subheader, and content we already have it, and already we already have content, right? So what we can do, just add another one more button, and that's it. Okay, so just custom header, subheader, and some button of it. If you want to refer this part, that's it, you just refer it. Or you want to put something in footer, right, in the bottom. So can you please use this footer section and just see in your code and try to run, is it working? So we will be paused for, I'm giving you 10 minutes time to work this activity. If somebody has done before 10, it's well and good. Finish this and let me know. So your time starts now, and you can like anytime if you feel you have done it. So all good, right? Everyone trying by your side?
Yeah, Madhu, we are trying, but I think we would need some more time on these elements. So maybe on, on weekend we can have full extensive hands-on and try and then come back with more doubts. Yeah.
All right. But anyone else trying? Because see, you have to little bit practice. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Try just analyze something. I'm giving you still 5 minutes and just see what it outcomes is coming. Okay. Analyze
Yeah,
something.
but
Let me know.
I don't know. I'm trying it. But the part is where you are referring the home view. Can you please come to that part? Like, so you are putting home view as a root view, or you are putting it as a target or navigation?
So this is the view part, right? This is the view. This is the view controller.
Yeah, in the manifest, in the,
Okay,
I
okay.
think
The
in
routing
root
side.
view you maintain, yeah, in
Yeah.
the routing part. Created another route for home.
Okay. Any doubt you have in here in this?
So you are putting it as a default view, or just like how it is routing there to the
Yeah, yeah. So this is my first view.
home?
See, to see my pattern, this is my first view, which I am giving it. Default view will say as a root view. Root view means the view which will load in the background but will not be displayed. So generally we don't heavy the first view. It will generally be refers just to
Okay.
initiate your application as a view perspective. But the content
Mhm.
as per what we see, file wise it is a second view, but appearance wise it is actually your first view, which is my home view. That's where I have mentioned in the first root is will my home. That will be my target. Like first view is my target. Now let's suppose from this view to next view if I'm going, then I will have another view which I will define here and I will set my target.
Okay, so which pattern, like you have, since we're given pattern as a blank, that's why it is directly loading this home view, right?
I didn't get you.
Since you have maintained that, you haven't maintained any pattern, right? You are just maintained it.
Yeah, just one
That's
second.
why it is directly
ये इसको तुम you can even keep
loading the
this
home view.
even if I keep the same also like home pattern you can keep it. Means basically if you are maintaining it, it will be display. If you're not maintaining, it will be blank. So something like that. It's not going to harm your any things. Basically just to identify your pattern, how you where you are navigating.
Okay.
Got it? So generally first page pe we keep it blank.
Okay. Okay.
Any other doubt? So, guys, everyone, I'm just asking. So, whatever we explained, okay. I mean, see, I yesterday also I have started from very basic. Because by considering you all have from the different background and it will be new for all of you. So, even I tried something with a scratch, yeah, that probably might not be required, but I was just trying to show you, make sure that if somebody is trying any different way or something you are trying, you may have some question, right? Can we do this way and that way? So that's why I covered those part also. But you can start from this, like how we actually did it by template. Don't go by scratch, creating a folder separately, everything, because you will face a lot of issues. It's not recommended. That's why SAP or BAS or Web IDE has come up with the template. So you should not focus and struggle on the project structure rather than you focus on building the basic what is the need of your requirement. So this is where, so this is the basic what pattern flow of folder file, how they communicate with each other. This is what I have tried to explain, and I highly recommend it whenever I am explaining it, if you guys can also parallelly do the same thing, like see when I'm talking at that time, so definitely you can continue with some what you can either take a reference what I'm making the change. So it will boost your confidence, right? Because you know that you wrote something, it's working. So see, being a developer, some any code runs properly, it's like a different level of happiness, right? So it will give you some confidence. That's why see, I'm not going, I hope my pace is fine, right? Everyone, my pace is fine, or am I going very speed, slow, medium? How is it like? Is that okay, right? My pace and speed, right? Everyone, I'm just asking you from all of you.
I guess, Manu, we can be, since everyone is new to this UI concept and many people do not know these taggings also. So if we can go slow for them at least, I mean, even I'm finding it difficult to, follow the entire thing. Yeah.
Okay, so am I going a little fast? Oh, okay, I thought I'm going slow. All right. Okay, fine. So that's why I'm putting the question here. If anybody in middle of it, if he's not getting follow, you can speak up. Okay, interact. Because if you're not speaking up, if you're not interacting, I will believe you are getting everything right. You are understanding it. So I will move it accordingly. So that's why I'm saying I try. I mean I'm trying because I told you that we have a lot of things to cover. I'm not going too fast for sure, but okay, fine. If even if you want some more slowness, so I will try, no problem. But the pace wise, the content wise, what we discussed today was definitely not so high. Okay, it was very basic. So try to follow it. It's no problem. I will wait for it. Let's suppose you are coding. You can tell, sir, I've been Manu. I'm doing this part of change, code of change. I'm doing making this change. Can you just wait for it? Let me also run it. It's working or not. So I will wait for it. If you get some error, I will help you.
Manu, I think your speed is correct for me, but as somebody said, we are new in this technology, and maybe it's that's the problem with the follow you in the concepts. I think we need to do as part of our commitment with the course, study by ourselves to catch you the information and follow you as all the concept that you bring us to us, that's new for everyone in that discourse. Yeah. So I think it's more put ourselves part of study and connected with the language. And but for me, your speed is correct.
All right, no problem. Thank you, Hector. So I believe this. I mean, so what I'm saying, anyone like be it Hector, Vanita, and anybody, if you feel any place of time like you need some more understanding or time or understanding, it's welcome. I will repeat again, not a problem. But what I mean to say is that please interact. Please try to understand, try interact, do something in middle of it, right? Because see, if you're going to start again from the by yourself, I mean it's great. Okay. Uh, but at the same time, uh, 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 but at the same time, you need to also understand that you practice along with me. That will be great because see, at least that part you already done with me, right? You already done and completed with me. Now, when I give you the assessment for the next session, so you are going to enhance your that particular part. Okay. So you see, it's my recommended part because anyway, what I have to do my part, I will be doing it, right? So if you follow us accordingly, it will be really going to be helpful. You don't have to come back again, or you don't have to recall everything again. Rather, you can start from the place where we have ended up, and it will add up. You just see because after this training, you will have your own work, probably what work assignment or something. You might be busy, you may not find correct time, but at least this 3 hours time what we have, right? Even if you are doing practice with me even a 1 hour, let's say, uh, topic wise, right? Something you small thing you can try, like how I did try it in end, right? Try in the view file, go declare something, just directly put something here, just try something, a small thing. Start with very small thing, okay, and then go one by one. Okay, it will boost your definitely your confidence, your the way you trying to learn rather you doing it alone. So some part I will definitely suggest to do it from here. Okay, fine. So let's not waste more time here in it. Okay, and let's try to start with that part again. So what I was talking about is key in your see, this is your SDK is going to be your always a reference point, right? If you want to check any sample, any control sample, right? So you should come here, take it anything, like take it page you want to see, come here, you search for the page. You will see different pages are coming. Like we have one dynamic page, okay, which we are talking about. This is the widely used now in Fiori elements. This is the newly page design. This is a classical page which we used to use. So you, if you want to use it, you come. If you want to use classical page, come here. You check what are the things it is available, right? This is the normal page. You can go and check in the coding part, right? You can see here. Okay, there is no harm. Copy everything, paste here, and then remove whatever is not needed for you. This is how you are going to code also going forward. I mean, any of them, any of you. Okay. Now let's say I want to use semantic page, right? Semantic page will be like, see, it's having a master detail application. So remember I told you, okay, this is now master detail application used to known as a split app. Now it is known as a semantic, I mean, semantic page having this feature. Okay. So basically this page master detail we have here. Okay, then we have a you see this left side and then you have right side. Then we have a semantic page of F. This is the, remember I told you there one library available there, right? So that all things. So anybody, if you're facing this, you should be able to do that, right? And go have a reference to it and check whatever you can actually do it. Have a reference to it. Go to the code, copy that code, put in your view or wherever you have, modify accordingly. Okay, so now let's me show you about this page part which I was talking about, right? Which we have taken a reference of one of the button which I told you to do that, right? So let's go there then. Okay, now I am again here inside my button section. Under the button section, what I wanted you to, all of you, you add some kind of custom header. Okay, so what I will do, okay, I have to add custom, right? I will copy this. Will come back in my view. I will go and put this. I have a custom header. Now you see toolbar again, you know, empty ID and all blah blah blah. Okay, leave it. Okay, so don't worry. Until you see whenever you cursor up, you see if it's they are talking about ID, it's okay. You can leave it. It's not going to break something. This is something just for reference. You want to reference something, you need to put that back. All right. Okay. Now I have put that custom header. Now I want to modify it. See, I don't want maybe a button back, or probably I don't want a title, or maybe see this title is something like, you remember I told you this title is referring to this of the title which you maintain, whatever you have maintained, that title can be, I can refer here. So again, how I do a refer? I will just copy again this. I will put back here and I will say title. Okay, it will refer now in the subheader. Okay, some button edit and all. See, I'm just explaining you. If you don't want this edit button, you remove it. That's it. So in that scenario, I don't want any kind of toolbar spacer. That also you can remove it. If you want to keep, you can keep it. Anything you can keep as per your requirement. I'm just saying, in case if you want to modify, you can modify. Now subheader, you check for the subheader. Come back here again. After custom header, see there are a layer. You cannot write subheader here and then custom header layer. No, you should. Middle layer property. Again, in the toolbar, I don't want to have this reject button. I will leave this. Okay, I don't want to. Okay, let's say I have a default. Okay, I don't want to put this. I just want to put one of the action button, which is called just a action button. Okay, like that. Okay, toolbar spaces. We have subheader. We have subheader. Now I will go back next. Okay, I have now button already available was there. So I will put one more thing. Let's say I am saying here reject default button. So I will put back one more button here in the same section, but I will show you how difference will come. Okay, now I put the same button, right? Again, I don't need this part, leave data, or let it be that. Okay, this time I will let it be. Whatever. So I put that page additional custom header. I put additional subheader, and I put then content, and then let's see how my app looks like. Now see, this is my first subheader, which has back button. You see, this is my back. Okay, type is back. That's why this icon came. Okay, now I have something called title, which level H2. This is my title. Level H2 is your HTML5 tag. You know how much thickness of your application you need. That is it defined actually. So this is my first Fiori app. Like thickness, if I do H2, H3, if I say probably if I say H4, it will change to some different maybe the thickness of your board. But again, it depends on how HTML5 it takes that part. Okay, so it's okay, so it's applicable only H2. Fine. Now you have a button here, edit. So that button you saw, it was coming in the right hand side. So if I need based on your requirement, so whatever you need here, you need here edit button, then do it. If you need something else, right? You may need maybe some different type of text or icon or something. Let's say I am saying here save. Okay, now see, it will change the as into a save button. So anything you want to modify, you can modify, and based on your control, see, it will be keep changing. See, it's now save now. Right, now let's say I go back. So this is the toolbar. Okay, so what will happen if I'm not maintaining the toolbar? Toolbar helps you to maintain that these controls in a single line. See, easily maintained in a single line. Toolbar spacer helps you to create a space between. See, if I remove this now, look what happened. If I remove this toolbar spacer, see what happened. So toolbar spacer helps in providing the space between them, between the two control what you define. See here, it got touch each other, right? This is where toolbar helps you to leave the space between them, right? So like that. So same way it applies here. Wherever toolbar spacer we have, if you want to create a space between, but toolbar spacer will works only with the toolbar. Okay, it's not work somewhere you put in anywhere else. So see, every control having their own aggregation pattern that we have to follow. All right, now come to the subheader. Subheader, what I said here is just one button with the action. Okay, this is my action button. I don't want that, right? I let's say here I don't want button. Instead, I want some kind of text. Okay. And then I will put here like text closing. If you always have to close, then put again text is a property, and then back here you say hello. Okay, so now my toolbar spacer may I will get some kind of button text available, hello, right? Like that. Now for example, if you remove this toolbar spacer, it doesn't make any change, because after toolbar spacer there is no control anywhere available, right? So it won't make change anything for this. But if I remove this, it will shrink back to left. Okay, so that kind of things will happen. Okay, now come back to here, subheader section. We close again. We have toolbar section here. Now in the content, you watch it, the second button position. See, both the button are just next to each other. What your requirement is, hey, I don't want this button in this pattern. I want this to be vertically aligned. Okay, so for that section there's a one control called VBox. Okay, this VBox will help you to keep your button vertical, or keep your control, basically I would say keep your control vertically aligned. Like if you want to do in the vertically position, it will be available in vertical position like this. You see, it came down, right? Now let's say what I want now. I don't want this button to be touched, right? Left side, right? Then you need to use something called class, SAP CSS class, which is called SAP, okay, You have something called SAP UI. 1 minute, I'm not recalling it. SAP UI response. No, SAP UI padding something. Okay, there will be, you can always find here SAP CSS class. Don't worry, everything is available. So if you, even if you're not reviewing it, you can always find here. Use margin classes. You can come here, you can find here, right? So what I will see here, SAP UI small margin. Okay, so they are also mentioned, right, where you want to mention begin or top or bottom. See, these are the types is available. So you can make use of it. Look, what I want here, I want from beginning, right? So I will say small margin begin, right? So SAP UI small margin begin, right? I will also say this is applicable to this button also, right? So now see, this button will have from the left side, whichever it begins will have some space available. You see, this is space available. Now I want some space in between in these two also, right? It's very much attached. So I will say something with top or something in bottom. So top, if you are using it, then use it for second button. If you are using it for bottom, then use it for first button. But depends on the where the positioning, and then you enter same thing under the same class with the space, put that margin button. Now see, after first button, there will be some gap available. See here, if it's more gap, okay, then you come here, you change back to small margin bottom. Okay. So you see, this has came here, right? Now I don't want this. Let's say I don't think we have any usage for subheader. So I will, what will do? I will remove it. Okay. So I will remove my subheader because nothing right now, right now in our purpose is nothing is doing it. So I will remove it. So I removed it. But for your scenario, if it's working, if anything, then yes, you should keep it. You, let's say you want this part, then but you want these buttons a part of your custom header or could be of your toolbar, then keep it here. I'm just showing you different here and there combinations, so that okay. So I think today what we have covered is the very basic the understanding of your the view controller file, right? The how the controller is working, right? How you are interacting with the controls action on press, what it does, right? If you want to modify some property, how you can do, right? How you can call your any component level model. Let's say if I want to call my OData model, I will just say this dot get owner component dot get model. That's it. It will be my OData service. Okay. But if I'm giving some name, it means it is particular to this model. So see this model, if I'm giving name now, then it will be going to refer that name. If you are not giving any name here, it will just take it as a global, whatever is available, it will return back to you. Okay, that one. So for my auditor service, I don't have to provide any name. It is default, nothing is there. So I will just say get owner component dot get model. That will be my auditor service. Okay, like that. Okay, how you can use the view file and all this stuff. Don't worry about this toolbar. This is all about ID. You can mention, that's fine. How you can use the toolbar spacer, right? Buttons. I mean, this is a very basic button. We just started with button here actually, but I've told you how you can do some alignment of that. SAP has their inbuilt CSS classes available. Okay, how you can find event or of the particular control, what are the property it has, what are the icon you can find from where. If you are not able to recall or maybe you want to know what are the CSS classes available, so this is the CSS class, you can use it. All right, so these are the things you can refer it and try to make it more better. You can play around. Okay, you can play around with this, whatever development I have done today. What you can do is that you can just go to your SDK, go to the sample, play around with any. You want to put some kind of menu button, right? Instead of normal button, go and check the menu button, see how it works. Menu button comes in the menu. So you see how the work control happens here. So menu item having menu button, this is the menu button declaration, right? So you just go copy it, menu button, and put it in your controller file and just see how the output is coming. Is it coming the same? Modify it, the text, modify the additional extra information available, and make this available for yourself, right? That's the idea behind giving the entire control. Every control having some example is given here so that you should make use of it. You don't have to write from the beginning. Copy it, paste into your XML file and modify as per your requirement. Could be text, could be action, could be icon, anything. But the at least declaration part, you don't have to struggle. You just have to use it, and then find out what are the methods of, because whatever method you will see could be a limited one. They will just show you some basic method. So find out in API reference every control, you will find the what are the things are available. For example, I shown you for button, right? One of the example for button. So in this button, what are the things are available? You should be able to find out. Okay, so let's say I am saying an app action sheet. So what are the events are available? What are the methods are available? Methods are used in your controller file, right? Whatever method you see, this used in your controller file. Whatever events is mentioned, it is used in your declared in your XML file. What are the other control it can work together? This is the aggregation section will give you. What are the properties? Properties means what are the things I have mentioned here, right? Icon, type, place. These are the properties. Okay, this is the event, right? Like that. So you can make use of this. Of course, go to your Bible. This is your documentation. Go through it. So what are the things we have covered today is that in this walkthrough tutorial, bootstrapping, controls, view, controller, JSON model we have not started, but definitely you have talked about your translatable text here, descriptor of application, which is nothing, your manifest JSON file, which we already discussed, right? Pages we have discussed here, cell container we have discussed about how it's container wise, right? Margin padding, CS, I have told you if you want to make some padding. Custom CSS, I have not mentioned custom CSS, but I have told you something like CSS class, which is, so custom CSS comes later. But I want to change this color and all that. Okay, that will be the different thing. So custom like margin padding you want in between, right? The way we put that for button. So all these things I have tried to cover and I have explained you. I hope you all were aligned and enjoyed this session today. Is more of your interactive session on your programming understanding of your UI5. Started with very basic, and I hope the basic what information I provided you will be helpful for you to explore more on it. All right. So see, as per my activity, if you go to the material section, there every under material section you will be finding some activities mentioned here. Okay. So see, go assessment here, right? So some assessment you will see if something you need to do that is more of theoretical. So please go through it, right? What is mentioned here, it will be helpful for you even to understand that part. Or you, if you want, see this assessment part, I will only discuss when you are interested and you are coming with some question. What does that mean? I will personally, I will not be, I mean, this is not something that we will be discussing. We will be focusing more on the actual learning of this part, and whatever assessment I will give you, I will be give you based on my discussion what we have available. But your company also provides something. It's good, you can go and check it. If something useful, please do try, do give a chase, check, go for a live activity, what is mentioned there, go to assessment tab, what is mentioned here, something, go through it. Okay, some content I have also uploaded, go through it, check what is responsible, what is useful for you, make use of it. Okay, that's all for today. And assessment part, I will say everyone, please create one application, create one Fiori app with your choice. You put any control. I'm giving you full independency, but I want you to start with, don't go by a scratch. No, big no for a scratch one. Go use freestyle SAP UI5 template, the way how we have started. Use a template so that you don't struggle with setting up all these files at least. And then use any control. Don't use the same button. Button ho gaya, don't button, use something else, right? There are a lot of control available. Go and use, go to sample, play around with some controls which you can put here in the bottom, right? You see in the page what all the things you can put, right? You have many menu button, right? You have toggle button or something else. Matlab, there are a lot of things. Okay, filter bar is there, grid is a table. Okay, do one thing, table, put the table. Okay, try with some table, or okay, table is something that again I have to discuss more in understanding part, but at least you can try with input field. Okay, try input field. Okay, something label, your programming should have some label with some input. You can have not list item, you can use just just the input. This is the input section. Okay, so everyone please go explore. I want you everyone to create a Fiori app. In your view page, your home view page should have some input. Input means the something user can enter. Okay, enter. This is your label, which is you can find this. This is the label input. Okay, you can find that, and then try to write some logic. Let's say if I'm typing something, go to your okay, you can leave this drop down part. I'm just saying just normal input part, and then see, go to your in case of here API reference, and find the methods for input. Okay, what will happen if you do input? What are the methods are available? M library input. Go to properties, list out all the properties. Just try what you do. You put the something, what will happening. Then check events. What will happen when you enter something? What will happen when you typing something? When you type something, it's called life change. Okay, something like that. So keep using it. These are the methods that, okay, fine. Methods may, if you want, if controller side, if you want to not now, but fine. Event, at least you can definitely try. You can check for the properties, aggregation, all these things. Keep some button, keep some input field, keep some label, and make sure you make some basic app. And I hope everyone will be ready by tomorrow. That is by your assessment. Okay, so for me, I think I'm signing off. Any question? Anyone have it? Any last question? Something? Let me talk,
Yeah.
else we can wrap it.
Yeah. Hi, Manu. I'm trying to define the target and routes, but I'm getting some error in console. It's not able to find my view.
Okay, can you share your screen?
You want me to share my screen?
Yes, share your screen.
So, can you see it now?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what I'm getting in my console, and nothing is populated on front end.
No, your screen is still not available. Okay, go to what is given with ID. Okay, can you go that home one? Okay, no, go to your view file. Go to your file section, project file section. So me that. Go to your app view.
Okay.
App view.
Yes.
First one. Okay, you have not given any ID, right? See, you should give the ID. I remember. I see. I have shown you. You missed that part. See that this app view. You mentioned this app ID. Got it?
Okay.
So this
so
app
similar
ID,
way, need to give it in home, right?
This app ID you have to put in your manifest.json file here. Under the routing configuration, it will ask you what is the control ID. So whatever ID name you mention here, you put here control ID and under your root view ID. Show me now. Try.
Okay.
Show me. Just share your screen. Working.
It's loading right now.
Go back to your file. Show me the file first.
Yes.
Loaded. Did you put any content?
Yeah.
Okay,
Place
now
the toolbar and yeah.
Toolbar, you have toolbar button back press. Okay, is it any okay, but where is that? Where is the back button? Can you show? Is it showing?
No, I think
okay,
it's
yeah.
on the front end.
Go back. Go to your file, app. Now go to app view. App view.
Yeah, it's taking time due to network.
कहाँ लिखा है? Where you have maintained app ID?
So over here also I need to mention ID.
You didn't see, right? See my screen here. App view. See, this is the mention. This is your root view ID reference. App. See this screen?
Okay.
Type like that. So this is the ID you are referring to.
Yes.
Okay. Now this app ID, go to manifest.json file, go to root view. Under this app ID, you mention Fiori app ID.
I don't know why it stopped sharing again and again.
Yeah, no, because I shared, that's why.
Okay. So in the root view.
And come down.
Yes.
Yeah. So see ID root view mein you this ID, whatever you have given, you change here. What ID you have given?
You mean this ID?
Under the app view, did you mention some ID, right?
Yeah. In the app only. Let me do it. App ID.
You mention app. Okay. Now go to app ID. Why you have mentioned? What is the ID you have mentioned? Bro?
This one, no?
App ID, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Now. No, not this way. No, not ID. App. Okay. You put the ID removed from here. Remove that ID from here. Just no, remove this property at all. ID, just no, it doesn't comment like that. Okay, come out now. After sap.m, put enter.
Okay.
Now no, this bracket came down. You should not, bracket should be there, right?
Okay.
Come down.
Okay.
Now, right. Start with the golden bracket, left bracket is a app. APP app. Then a space. Don't close right now. Don't just a space ID equals to, give some any name. You give some name you want, like app ID or something. Any name you want to put.
Okay.
Okay. Now this you copy this. Okay. Go back to your manifest.json file. Put here this ID name as a app ID, whatever you given. Go up, come up. Go up. Okay, here in this name, first of all, you remove this root app. You give it name. Name is your home, right? What is your view name? Home or home one?
Yeah,
it's home, right? Why are you giving home one?
It's
okay.
Target name home one is. Okay,
but you keep it. Okay, fine. Target name you can give anything, but what I'm saying is, you remember I told you keep the same thing so that you can pattern will be easily understandable. Fine. Anyway, now no, under the config section, expand config section. Expand the config section. Here you also put a control ID as a app, whatever you mentioned ID.
Yeah.
Okay, now come down. Home one. Can you show me the home one? Yeah. So view ID. Did you mention home?
Yeah, view ID. Okay. So in the view also.
No need. That's what I'm saying. I told you view ID. You don't have to mention. So just you don't need to put. ID page is fine. This ID you can remove it. ID. I mean you can keep it also.
So
that's just not a problem. Leave it. So manifest also you have to remove it. No, this is page ID is fine. Page ID is fine.
Okay.
Page ID is fine. No need to worry. Go to manifest now. And you can remove this view ID also.
From here?
Because view name we already giving, right? It's already unique. So you don't, I mean, it's not necessary to give, it's optional. Okay, now try to run the app. It will anyway refreshed already, right?
Yes.
Notice something, see now it came. toolbar, your back button, you see left side in the bottom
Yeah.
came as a navigation button, right? It's like that. If you put some
Yes.
text, it will come as a text also. There's no error also, right? This is how, okay.
Yes.
So it's okay. So everyone, if you face this such kind of issue, you should, I mean, hope you not face again, but yeah, fine. Let's try that and let's meet it, okay, everyone tomorrow, and let's do that, okay. See you everyone tomorrow, and let's try to do this assessment which I have tried to tell you, okay. I hope everyone is okay with that. Signing off today. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Goodbye. Bye bye. Take care.
Thank you for attending the session. I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Also, feel free to ask your questions in the comment section below, and we will reply to them at the earliest.